I'm Holly Constant.
And I'm Madi Hockaday. We really love Parks and Rec, and we really love behind-the-scenes details.
So we're researching everything from DVD extras like deleted scenes and commentaries,
plus interviewing cast and crew who actually worked on the show.
We also bring on guests and friends to geek out about everything parks.
So join us, you tropical fish.
This is literally the best Parks and Rec rewatch podcast.
We're your park pals.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.
The way I wrote Born and Raised at the top of my screen, it kind of looks like Boom Roasted.
Oh my God.
So when I opened it, I was like,
that's hilarious.
Oh, why?
Yay, because B&R. Okay.
B&R.
Well, oh my gosh. Welcome, everyone. We are here. We're doing it. We're back.
Yes, it's been a minute, but we're hoping that you were able to catch up on all the episodes you might have missed. Go back and listen to some of your faves.
Mm-hmm. Or just take a break.
Yeah, that too.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So I feel like we could start with just even like saying what was happening in those 2 months. And I'll go first. Number one is that I originally took off the month of May to apply for like new jobs. And if anybody at my office is listening, I feel like everybody knows. No one listens from my office, whatever. Everyone knows, whatever. Anyway, so we're all looking for new opportunities all the time anyway. So, but I took off the month of May because I had a show, a musical theater show, community theater show, the Prom musical, if anyone is familiar. And I also wanted to look for new jobs. And then I ended up getting, after that ended, well, kind of in the midst, actually, I ended up getting a regional theater, musical theater gig, which is great. And I really needed to accept it because, or not needed to, but just really felt so viscerally that it was the right choice because it was a paid show and it was rehearsing during the day. It was professional. So then that happened, and all those shows were in June. So May and June ended up being, which was really funny. I was meaning to tell you about this as well, because my vision board technically says get a day job that I love. And I think the universe was like, you didn't say whether it should be permanent or not. And I was like, oh my God, that is like, I did get a day job that I loved, you know?
That's awesome.
So
yeah.
I think that also really reminds me that I need to be specific with what you want from God or the universe or whatever you'd like to call it. So that's something to think about. But yeah, I've been learning a lot about myself too. And I'm just like, I can't believe that it's almost July. Well, by the time this comes out, like it will be July. So it's just nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, craziness. So do you think that this has been like a like nudge for you to get a job that's a day job in this industry, even if you're not acting in every single job you have?
Maybe. I definitely think that it would be nice to be in the industry somehow or doing something that I love in that realm, like in the entertainment realm. But more than anything, if I'm being completely honest, I just want to work from home. Like, the environment of where you are and the space of where you are is so important. And I feel so much better and like comfortable, and like my nervous system is not attacked at home. And so that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. But I do want it to be a job that I'm interested in. And I want it to be a job that I can learn something, because I kind of feel like that's something that I might be lacking a little bit, is that I don't know that I just think I'm done learning at that job. I think I've learned everything that I really want to, and I could learn more, but it's not something that necessarily interests me or is passionate. So that's kind of my requirements right now. I want to work from home, and I want to be like 10% more interested than now.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, being in the theater though was really good, having that be a day job. But it's wild. I mean, it's just like, you know, day jobs or looking for jobs in general is already so exhausting. So imagine doing that every 3 months after a show is over. You know, it's just like,
I know.
Gnarly. And with the writer's strike and everything, TV film isn't really happening right now. So this was nice to keep myself occupied. And obviously now the podcast is back, so we'll be doing more of that. But, you know, so it's been good, though. I'm learning a lot about myself, so I'm very grateful.
Yay.
But yeah.
That's good.
What about you?
Yes. So while Holly was busting her ass for 2 full months doing what she loves, which is what we're very excited about, I was quitting my job and being unemployed. Yes. Being unemployed for 3 weeks and getting a new job down in Phoenix. So we used this time off to move our little family down to Phoenix, move into a new place. So yeah, it's been crazy and tiring and wonderful. And I'm trying to learn this new position. I've completely left behavioral health. So get ready for me to be like way more analytical in this than I was before, because I'm going to miss the psychological part of my job.
Yeah.
So I've already been accused of therapizing my boss like 3 times.
Oh my God. By who? By her?
By him.
Or him? What?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not bad. He jokes about it.
Yeah.
Like he'll send a little text that says, boom, social work.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of nice that you have that relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been, everybody at work, like I want to tell you more specifically about it like later, because if it's something that like, you know, they have an Atlanta office, just a side note.
Ooh, good to know.
But they're just so cool. The whole company, like they have a huge professional development for women section. So they're all about getting women in big leadership roles. And we're at over, I think it's like 40% of the companies now women. In a construction company. So that's pretty cool. So there, I mean, and everybody's just super cool. You have to take a personality test to get the job, to show that you're going to be like a team member rather than there for yourself kind of deal. So, it's been good, but it's different because I'm not, you know, working with kids every day. This is the first time since I've left college that I'm not working with kids.
Wow. Yeah. Huge transition.
So, huge, but it's been good. So, the only other thing that's been happening, which is news to Holly too, I'm going to send you a picture because I sent this to you. I'm sending it to you, but it wasn't going to get there in time today. So I'm sending you what is coming in the mail for you.
Oh my God. What? Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are you serious?
I sent a gift to go with it.
Wait, but are you serious? Wait, like this
I'm
isn't
really
a joke.
serious.
This is not a joke.
No, it's not a joke.
Oh
It's not a joke.
Madi! That is so insane! Oh my God! Oh my God! Okay, can we even do the podcast? This is stupid. I can't breathe.
I know. My heart is beating so fast because I was so excited to tell you, and I had to do it here, Holly. Like it just was so on my heart that I had to do it while we were recording the podcast.
Oh my God! Tell everyone what you sent, or should I do it? No, you do it. You do it.
Okay, we'll post the picture too, but I thought it might take you a second because we call you Aunt Holly to Fenway and Cubby, but I sent Holly a picture of a shirt that says Auntie, I'll be there for you in like the Friends font.
Yeah.
Along with the Jim gif when Jim finds out that Pam is pregnant.
Oh my God. So basically, if we need to spell it out even further, Maddie's pregnant. Oh my God. This is gnarly. I don't even understand. Like what? I'm just like keep staring at these pictures. That is so wild, Maddie. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Were you guys
we have
thinking
another
about
little
all
park
these?
pal.
Yeah, we do. Oh my God.
Yeah. He or she is recording with us today.
Oh my God. Or they.
Yeah, or they. Yes, exactly.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's been crazy. What was your question?
Like when did you find out, and were you planning on this, or was it kind of just whenever?
So after our honeymoon, we kind of just said we're going to put it up for God to kind of decide.
Yeah.
And just kind of let things happen. And we think that it was when I put my notice in that.
Oh my God.
Like my body was like, okay, we can do it.
We're ready.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is so wild.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
It's really up and down. It's been. So I'm not my mom was so sick with me and Connor, like could not keep food up. Like she had to get IVs and shit. She was on bed rest for them like a really long time. Like it was bad. And we were both born super premature. So I'm trying to put my life in perspective of that. Like I'm not living that.
Yeah.
But up until about maybe a week or two ago, I was nauseous literally all day, every day. It sucked, like trying to be active or anything. So moving sucked ass. Like that was awful. But Ivan's really good. He didn't let me lift anything. We hired movers.
Yeah.
Connor's here, so he helped. And then now I'm doing better with not being nauseous, but I hate eating. Like nothing sounds good to me at all. Nothing that's good for me.
Right.
Like I want ice cream and Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
So it's so it sounds like such a menial complaint because it's like, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but like, I don't want to plan dinner. Being in the grocery store for longer than 5 minutes makes me want to throw up.
Yeah.
Like, I just hate it.
I already don't want to plan dinner. And I hate grocery shopping as it is. So I would imagine like physically from that, like, getting sick or whatever. Oh my God. Yeah. That is so wild.
Yeah.
So you told your mom, and what did she say? How did that all go down?
So we did a little reveal for everybody.
Okay.
Connor was the first one to know. We wanted to tell our siblings before we told our parents.
Yeah.
And we got Connor a mug that said promoted from fur uncle to human uncle.
Aww.
Yeah. He thought we were kidding. He's like, this is a screwed up joke, you guys.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, that's so funny. I feel like all of us are just like, no, that's not serious. Wait, because all of those things, like the things that like the picture that you sent me and that mug could be things that are funny that also could be like things from like social media or whatever. Like now everybody's calling babies on, or have you like babies that are on TikTok and like their moms that are posting them are like, hey, TikTok aunties, and like like auntie is just like a thing. You know what I mean? It's just like a phrase that we use now, and uncle and whatever. So, oh my God. Anyway, okay.
Yeah, so it's funny. So we told his older brother, he's not older than Ivan, but he's the older of the two younger brothers, with his girlfriend. We got them a onesie that said, congratulations, you're now babysitters. And then we said, oh, oops, we mean Tio and Tia, which is aunt and uncle in Spanish. We got his other brother a shirt that says Tio, like an uncle, only cooler.
Yeah.
His sisters, we got them a onesie that said, you can stop asking now.
Oh my God. That is so wild.
It's been literally since we got together that they've been asking for a little niece or nephew. And then, so we told his mom and she cried, and we got her a little onesie that said, hola abuelitos, which is grandparents. And then my dad, we got him a newest member of the band onesie.
That's so cute.
Yeah. And then my mom, because she's in Singapore, this gutted me that like she was the only like family member we couldn't tell in person.
Oh, that sucks.
But we sent her a box with a little pair of booties and a copy of the book that she read me almost every day that I was like when I was a baby. And we said, hi, Poppy and Mimi, can you hold on to these until I'm ready? And so, yeah. So they already have their grandparent names because my step siblings have kids.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
that's cute. That's so cute.
But yeah, she was in complete shock, and now I get a text message every day from her, like asking me how I'm feeling, and she's super on top of it. So
oh my God, that is so crazy. That's so amazing. Yeah. Did you want it to happen like at this time, or is it just kind of whenever? I know you said like let God decide, but what was yours like ideas?
I think we were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because
it is kind of fast, I guess, if you think about it.
It was kind of fast, but also it happened 2 days after I didn't have a job.
Right.
I lost insurance literally the day we found out.
Yeah.
So we didn't have health insurance the first appointment we had. So we didn't get an ultrasound. They didn't have an ultrasound tech for us that day anyway, which I thought was crazy.
Interesting.
But then you have to pay extra because you don't have insurance. I was unemployed.
Yeah.
We didn't know where we were going. Like there was so much up in the air that was like, we kept it to ourselves for probably 2 or 3 weeks before we told anyone. Cause we were like, everybody's going to be so judgy about.
No, they're just going to ask you a lot of questions that you're not prepared to let I'm doing now, which is not judgmental, but definitely is, you get to decide whether you want those questions asked or not. So that makes total sense.
Right. Well, and you're somebody who can ask those questions. And I think for us, it was more, we didn't have answers.
Yeah.
Like we didn't know what we were going to do.
Like you're already asking those questions to yourself,
Right. That's what it was that we are already stressing out about it. We don't want other people stressing us out. So
because like to other people, you have to like sugarcoat it. You know what I mean? And you don't know how to phrase it.
Yeah. Like we have a plan when we don't.
Right. And to be frank, I feel like nobody does. So this is true. Definitely.
No one knows what they're doing.
No one. It doesn't get better, you guys.
Yeah. It really doesn't.
You just learn how to cope. Honestly, that's how I feel. Really, truly.
Yeah. That is accurate.
But I mean, it's also one of those things too, where I don't know, when you let I always think of this metaphor too, when like, you know how when it's really hot outside and you have to let the hot air out before you turn the AC on so that it'll like cool faster. I feel like if you let out the bad energy, sometimes the good energy comes in. So like quitting the easier way to say that is like when one door closes, whatever the fuck that one is. Right. But like, you know what I mean? It's like when something happens, you close that one chapter, it leaves room to open another. So sometimes it's just, again, it's not our timing.
Yeah, no. And I mean, the benefits that I get from this upcoming company is more than I ever would have gotten in my last one. Like the maternity leave they give, and they let you splice out your maternity leave. You don't have to take it all at once. Like if you'd like, so there, it's just everything's falling into place.
Yeah. That's so amazing.
I think we were very excited to find out there was no part of us that was like, oh shit, like,
yeah,
what are we doing? We were very excited. It was just more, okay, now
figuring
let's sit
out
down.
the
how are we going to do it? So, currently the baby has a December 25th due date.
Oh my God, Christmas.
Yes. But we have an ultrasound, our very, very first ultrasound tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
So I'll let you know updates once we know more information.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my God. That is so crazy. This is such a life transition this year, man. Yes. 2023 fucking is crazy.
Yeah. It started out, I don't know about you, but real rough for me.
I mean, I think it started out rough for everybody. So, I mean, these last 4 years have been true insanity and true tests of like our, strength, both physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all the things. Like, it's just nuts. So I feel like this year is the year that people are finally starting to like heal from 2020 kind of. And
let's turn it around
in general. Yeah. So, or like just deal with things that we've talked about this too, like just deal with things that they hadn't even thought that they were struggling with. You know what I mean? So that is so wild. Oh my God. Well, I'm so happy for you. That's so amazing.
Thank you.
Tell Ivan, I'll text him, but tell Ivan congratulations as well. Oh my God.
Thank you. This is so exciting. I was so excited to like tell you because, so many of my close friends when I got engaged to Ivan, like it was like, oh, I get to call these people and you were there. So I didn't get to see your surprised face.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
So like getting to show you this, I was like, oh, this is cool. I didn't get to do this, which was perfect. Right. I wanted you there for the engagement, right? Yeah. There's no like, I wish she wasn't there so I could no regrets. But it was like, okay, this is cool. I'm going to get to see her face.
Well, that is so crazy. Oh my God. And now it's being recorded and it's just here for our history books.
Yes, exactly. Like every other person I've told I have a video.
Oh my God. That is so wild. Who had like your favorite reaction, do you think?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
You'll have to think about that and let me know.
I really
later.
I'll have to think about it. My idea, we haven't posted it on Facebook and I think we'll wait a while. So sorry. I think we'll wait a bit. Like I don't mind it being posted on the podcast. Like that's totally fine. Because the people who I wanted to tell like
are in the circle kind of.
Yeah. So in person or myself, they know. Or they will tomorrow because I'm sending some people an ultrasound as the way that they're finding out.
Oh my God, that is so crazy.
Yeah. So like the bridesmaids, I'm going to send it in the bridesmaids chat.
That'll be cute. That'll be really cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
So but yeah, so that's fine that it's posted here, but I've thought about splicing together all the surprise, like the reactions as the way we put it on Facebook.
Oh my God, that is so crazy. I know. Because at first I was like, oh, it's a Friends thing. That's so cute. And then I read it and what? No.
What's happening?
That's so lovely. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, you'll have to tell me what names you're thinking of and all that stuff too.
Oh, yes.
Later.
Yes.
Or now. I don't care.
For sure.
But either way.
we can hold it off so that I don't continue to take our podcast time.
Well, but we'll still be looking forward to that. Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't even know how to move forward. Okay. Well, all right. Let's just go ahead. All right.
I'm so sorry. I'm just now realizing this. The first podcast that this baby is technically part of is called Born and Raised.
I know. That's
kind of cute.
Great. Oh my God. Okay. This is my like sign to make merch though. And that way I can have a baby onesie that says like new Park Pal or something stupid, not stupid, but something funny, cute and stupid. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I love fun
it.
and cute and stupid. That's my new motto.
Something punny and park related.
Yeah. Oh my
Like
God.
it.
So precious. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Well, all right. We're just going to try our best. I'm going to try my best to just move on because I have a really exciting thing too, but I'll tell you in a moment.
Okay.
So, okay. Born and Raised, Season 4, Episode 3. This was written by Aisha Muharrar, directed by Dean Holland. Both of these people have worked on Parks and The Office and like a bunch of other things. They've also already been on Parks from what we've reviewed in the past. Aisha made an appearance on Parks. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. She was the one in the episode where Anne goes to get baby stuff, which is ironic again because babies. And she says, "These are the only bibs I've seen without Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s face on them." And the worker there is like, "What?" That's Aisha. That is the one who wrote this one. So anyhow, she wrote 14 episodes of Parks. I didn't realize that. It's pretty amazing. The ones that we've seen so far are Kaboom, Park Safety, and Camping. She's also a producer on Parks, and she's a producer on The Good Place and Hacks on HBO, which have you watched that yet? Or seen that? Oh my God. It's such a great show. It's on HBO. It's amazing, and you guys should just watch it. It's a ton of Parks people. It's also, what's his name from Broad City that I can't remember his name, but he's in a lot of those episodes. He's great.
That's great.
He actually helped create Hacks, but he was on Broad City too. And then we all know about Dean Holland. He's our guy, so we'll just skip right up. Okay, so I have a couple things before we get to the summary. First of all, I watched another webisode. They are on the DVDs. And just as a refresher, if you listen to Office Ladies, you've heard them talk about it too. But basically, they make these like 2 to 5 minute webisodes, post them to the NBC site. They did this for The Office too and a bunch of other shows. But last one, so I guess they pick which episode to make a webisode about because all of the webisodes are about road trip when Andy and April go to the Grand Canyon. Each of them are like 2 to 5 minutes long, and they're all related to that. Okay. It's almost like they're outtakes or something. But last one was how there was this like spider, and April was super freaked out because they couldn't find the spider. So Andy just like lies and says, "Okay, yeah, I got it," but then he didn't really. And it was way funnier than the way I'm describing it, but that's basically what happened. And then this time they had them going to the Four Corners, like on their stop to the road trip, which is the spot where 4 states meet up in the United States. But apparently, April says it was a 6-hour detour, and April didn't want to drive, so she just took Andy to a random side of the road and told him it was the Four Corners. And he goes nuts and is like, "Oh my gosh, we're in a different time zone. Like, look, you're in one state and I'm in another state for like," and it's like this 2 whole minute long thing of them going back and forth and April looking at the camera being like, "This isn't the Four Corners." It is hilarious. And it's really cute because April does feel guilty about it, and I kind of appreciated that they showed that side of her. So there's that. Anyway, so that's the webisode, and I'll keep telling you about all of those. Oh, and then
that's so funny. Good.
I'm going to play a little bit of the webisode. It's like 28 seconds, 2 clips that I thought were really funny.
Wow! Oh my God, right there. We are in the Four Corners of the United States of America. That is the only place in all the U.S. where 4 states connect. We got Utah, Arizona, and Colorado, and I want to say Oregon. Boom! All 4 states connect, intersect right here. Why isn't it marked again?
Because the government doesn't want people to know about it.
She's just basically like, there is a whole monument, I think, at Real One, and there's literally just a patch of grass where they are, and so she just keeps going on and on about like, nope, they don't want us to know about it.
That's so funny.
Okay.
Also not Oregon, just so
yeah, what is
knows.
the other state?
It's got to be New Mexico.
Let's see. Everyone probably already knows this. Four Corners, Nashville. No, dummy. I don't want that. Okay. Colorado, southeastern corner of Utah. Why didn't it just tell me that? Northwestern corner of New Mexico. Correct. Utah, Colorado, New Mexico. Where's the other
Arizona.
one? And then Arizona. Yeah. Why isn't Arizona written? It's just a picture. Anyways.
He got the other 3. Just Oregon
and then
is
April's
not
like,
even touching those.
Okay.
I like that she goes with it for him.
Exactly. Okay, here's the second part.
I really wanted to go to the Four Corners. It's like a 6-hour detour, and I'm grouchy from driving all night, so that random spot in the middle of nowhere is
Oregon,
now the Four Corners.
Arizona, Colorado.
He's just behind her, like skipping
Jumping.
around, making sure that he's going to each individual state, and I just think it's so funny.
That's exactly what I pictured him doing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. This is a big deal, the next one, because I was researching, and look what you can buy.
I found that too, and you bought it?
I bought it!
Oh my gosh, I love it.
You can buy
Yay.
Pawnee, the Greatest Town in America by Leslie Knope right here, everyone. It is the best thing ever, and I'll post this. I have like my little marks that I have to show you all of the different things that is mentioned in the episodes that are in fact in the book, because the main thing is that I wanted to see, it's just credited as Leslie Knope writing it, and it doesn't say who actually wrote it, and it doesn't really even say in here either. It just says Universal City Studios Productions, you know, like copywritten, whatever. But it was.
You think it'd have to be somebody from props, right?
Well, I don't know. It could be some of the writers too.
That's true.
You know, and they could have just compiled it. But I just thought it was so funny. There is a deleted scene where Donna says it's literally all about waffles, and there's a whole spread with pictures of Leslie eating waffles, and she was like, "Waffles sell, Donna. Publishing 101 is what she says." And I took a whole. All right, I think that was one of my little parts that I was gonna show you. Oh yeah, these are the pictures of her eating waffles.
Oh my gosh. With the whipped cream falling out of her mouth.
Yeah, exactly. And she's just smiling so big because the table of contents has like, you're spending 24 hours in Pawnee. What do you do? And it's like 8 a.m. Enter the shower. It's like, and then it tells you all the different places you can go. But the main thing I wanted to read was the dedication. And I'll try to read a little bit fast, but I don't care. You guys, this is really important. And then at the end, I'll read the afterword where she's talking about the waffles, because there's a whole, like, it's longer than what she read. Anyways, okay, this is the dedication of the book. To the good people of Pawnee, and to the people who have worked hard to make this town great, and to everyone anywhere who loves his or her hometown or his or her adopted hometown, and to every person who understands the importance of citizenship. And she goes on, like, to thank everyone, really. Anyway, and to the founding fathers and mothers of this great country, and to everyone who has fought in any way to keep this country free and safe, and to the framers of the Constitution, and to everyone in the entire world, and to the makers of Brain Blast XXXtreme NRG drink, which has done a bang-up job of getting me through these last 55 hours of working on this book with no sleep. Okay, that's enough. I just tried to go to sleep, and that's a non-starter with the, by my count, 256 plus ounces of Brain Blast XXXtreme NRG drink coursing through my veins. It honestly feels like my eyeballs are spinning around in my head like tiny basketballs on a globetrotter's finger. So here's some more. This is dedicated to my family and my friends and the good people of Pawnee and Spider-Man and every living creature in the universe, except turtles, whom I find condescending, and to whatever mad genius scientist came up with Brain Blast XXXtreme NRG drink, because damn, and to the good people of Pawnee, and most of all to Pawnee, the greatest town in America. And by that, I mean to the actual town, not the book Pawnee, the greatest town in America. I'm not dedicating this book to itself. I mean, I feel really weird right now, but I'm not that weird. And finally, to the good people of Pawnee. I should probably read this over once just to make sure it's good, but I currently have what I would describe as double reverse tunnel vision, and it's hard to focus, so I'm just going to assume it's fine. The end.
Love it. The ramblings of someone who's been on an energy drink.
Literally, it's so good. Oh my God, I can't even handle it. There's also this page that Chris had, and he wrote an essay. And it's really funny. The two pictures, one picture is how do I show this, is 2011, and then one picture is 2044, basically saying that he's like or 2040 rather, like he's not going to age.
He's never going to age.
But I thought it was really funny. Just a quick editor's note. She wrote, Chris's original essay was unreadable. It's not that it was poorly written. It was actually really good, but every other word was in all caps, and it made my eyes cross a little.
I can see that.
But like the detail of this, man. They have Pawnee's medical center, and Anne is in it because she works there. Ben wrote an essay on why he lives there, or why he chose to stay there, essentially. And oh my gosh, Trish is in it. Like the picture of the pageant, the beauty pageant, is in it with Tom holding her hand, or like, you know, kind of with the fist pump moment, like she won.
Wow. That's amazing.
I mean,
it's actually as thick as it looks in the show.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's
Dedication.
like, it's kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's like kind of a rough texture on the paper. Also, side note, the official full title is Pawnee, the Greatest Town in America, written, compiled, researched, typed, collated, proofread, and run through spell check by Leslie Knope.
Amazing.
But oh my God, I had to buy it. I saw that on Amazon. You guys, you can buy them on Amazon. It was like $15 or something, maybe even less than that. And I was like, this is considered research. I have to get it. So I did.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
Side note, have you watched Severance yet, or heard of Severance?
I've heard of Severance and I've seen the trailer, but I have not watched it. And I know it's Adam Scott.
Okay. Yes, it is Adam Scott. And so the introduction is like a stop motion sequence. And there's this kind of fan theory going on that it's the like finished Ben, you know, stop motion.
From him.
And it's so good, actually. You should actually just look up the intro. Stop what you're doing right now and watch it, because it's so good, actually. And you'll see what I mean. So anyhow, I just wanted to share that note.
Wonderful.
Okay, well, now I have summary written whenever you're ready.
Perfect. So, as part of her campaign, Leslie writes a book about Pawnee that will hopefully help her get more votes. But when it's claimed that Leslie's lied in her book, the Parks team all work together to help Leslie get the coveted Jones Book Club sticker. Meanwhile, Anne attempts to connect with Ron and April.
Nice. Yeah, this is a good one. We've got a lot of stuff going on.
This cold open.
Oh my God, it's one of the
craziness.
funniest ones ever.
Yeah.
And
I love
we
it.
always talk about it. Leslie's doing promo for this campaign and for this book on the NPR station of Pawnee. And I love this guy who does the ads. I think he's awesome. He's like saying a corporation is a nonprofit that puts umbrella hats on homeless people when it rains.
Love it.
What a funny detail.
And most of those things are to keep the sun off your face, so they don't really cover that much of your body. So your shoulders are definitely still getting wet.
Right. Oh my God. So good. So good. And then Derry Marbles, we love. I think it's the first introduction of him, because he comes back every now and again. But I didn't realize that this was a bit that he took over for. It says he took over for David Parker, who left for 8 months to study migration patterns of squirrels. Like, I did not remember that.
Yeah, I remembered that, but I didn't remember that it was the first one.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was later.
Yeah. Well,
which is stupid. I should have known.
No, and then at the end it talks about like how someone else is going to be taking over for him because he's taking over for somebody else, and I didn't realize that was kind of a running bit that everyone was like following or like covering for one another.
It's so funny. Well done. His nasal voice is perfect. I don't know if that's the actor's real voice in real life, but if it isn't, like, that's great.
It's so good.
Voice acting.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, he's a voice actor, right?
I didn't know that.
Oh my God. Okay. I have some amazing news for you. I did a breakdown on Derry Marbles, but I knew this because I had already looked him up. He is the voice of Homer Simpson.
Of course he is.
He is iconic voiceover actor. He has done so much work on video games and cartoon for adults and things like that, but he voices Homer Simpson and a handful of other voices on the show. I still can't get over that he is Homer, because he does, again, such great voice acting. He doesn't sound like him,
No, but you can picture his character in Parks and Rec being in The Simpsons.
Yeah. That's true too. Like Derry Marbles' voice, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But his name is Dan Castellaneta, and he has also done 4 episodes of Family Guy, but he's done a lot of appearances on live action shows as well. He did an episode of The Mindy Project, and he's done a bunch of things as Homer Simpson on other shows, which is amazing. And I also did reach out to his agent, but apparently he doesn't do interviews, so I don't know if she's just saying that to me because whatever. And at this point, I sometimes will like try to sugarcoat and like be nice and just like not say things, but I kind of want to just tell you guys the scoop. So that's what I was told. So.
Yeah.
Which I
respect. He could also be over it.
What's that?
He could also just be over
That's
it.
What I mean.
Like The Simpsons has been on for like ever.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's had to do millions of
Oh, yeah. So many things. I mean, that is insane how long that show has been running. Like, that's ridiculous.
And they tell the future.
Yeah. I mean,
it's kind of scary.
So anyhow, she's promoting the book, and she says she wrote this as a reference for herself for the campaign. And after they removed a lot of the poetry and unicorn pictures, then it was good enough.
Yeah. Love it.
I also, I didn't realize too that in the show it says that Trish is like makes an appearance there. They talk about it in the actual episode as well. But I didn't really even realize that until I was looking through this book, and I was like, oh, hey.
Yeah. I want to go back to the guy who did 8 months of squirrel watching for the migration patterns, just because I was interested to see where you would go for this.
Yeah.
Well, squirrels I don't think they really technically fit the migration like vocabulary, because it says that they stay where they are, but they'll like move around an area. I did find that the gray squirrel will migrate, but no further than 50 miles, which wouldn't even get me from Phoenix to Prescott.
Right.
So like, what was this guy doing for 8 months?
Within an hour of, or whatever.
Right. So like, what was he doing?
That's so funny.
That was just his out, because they haven't seen him since.
Right. Totally. That is hilarious. I wonder if they knew that, if the writers knew that squirrels don't really migrate. And that probably is the joke, and I just missed it. I just thought it was funny on the surface, but to actually think about it, because these people are a lot of Harvard people.
Right.
Like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah. Who don't have to Google if squirrels migrate.
Right. Oh my God. That's amazing.
Yeah, I love it. I also love this line that I often use from Leslie, where she says, one could say that, but should one?
I love that too.
Yeah,
totally.
So good.
Oh my God. Well,
man.
There was a deleted scene basically also with alternate things that Derry says, and Leslie says she's promoting the book all over town. And like to kind of just say a little bit more of what she was doing, because it can't really actually tell but I think they cut it because you don't need to really explain it. Like, you don't need, she doesn't need to have that line, I'm promoting the book all over town, blah, blah, blah. But I just wanted to say, I do have to give a shout out to the audio design crew, because in this deleted scene, she gets all close to the mic and you can tell that it gets louder and cleaner. And it's just this like really small detail that I noticed, because that, NPR has that kind of vibe and that sound and that quality of, studio sounding vibes. And I just thought that was really interesting. So shouts to the audio people. Sound design people. And also in the deleted scene, she says she wrote 10 books because she thinks that's how much Pawnee deserves, but she was told to edit it down to 1.
That's on character.
Oh my gosh. 10 full books. Like, 1 book is enough. But to write 10 of them, woof. But from a lady who has like 80 binders, I get it.
Fair.
Oh yeah. So, I already said that Derry says someone else will be filling in for this one person who's taking over for another person. And then the lesbian comment that they made, well, they are lesbians. Like, first of all, that accent we already said that, but his voice is so good when he says that line. But I remember watching this being like really confused, because I was like, why is this funny? Isn't that kind of offensive? And then I realized they're making fun of the people that say that. You know what I mean? Like, right. I think that's what it is. At least that's how it is in all of the other shows that seem like, why would they say that? But anyway, and also the music really is inaudible, so that's what kind of like, it's not great.
Yeah.
So I did like the band name Nefertiti's Fjord.
Yes.
That was awesome.
And just to clarify for people, I had to remind myself, because I know who Nefertiti is. Like, she's a real person.
Yeah.
She was the queen of a pharaoh in 18th century Egypt. And I guess she was known for, she changed it from a poly-religious system to a mono-religious. So instead of having several religions in Egypt, she brought it to one, where they all worshipped the sun god.
Okay.
So that's what she did. I remembered learning about her. I was like, why did we learn about her if she didn't do anything? So I literally had to Google like what she did.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't remember what she did either. I knew that name sounded familiar, but I didn't even research it. So that's great information.
Yeah. And a fjord, if people care, is like an inlet it's a water inlet. And then also, just so people know, the words that they're singing are the words to the Norwegian national anthem.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the first 2 lines are the Norwegian national anthem.
Oh my God.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool. Where did you find that?
Just researching.
It was just online? Oh my God. I totally missed that.
Reddit's where I found it.
Oh, okay. Love it.
We're trusting Reddit.
Well, I mean, they probably know.
I was hoping that it was somebody who speaks Norwegian. It was like, I know that song.
Yeah. It does make sense. I mean, it sounds like it.
Yeah, it sounds, if I could put a vibe to it, it sounded like a Scandinavian language on top of like African like music.
Yeah.
Is the vibe
like
I get.
Tribal.
Yes, tribal, exactly. And I have to say, I'm glad they started with this one, because after you hear jazz plus jazz equals jazz, this does not sound that bad. You're like, I would listen to this over the other one.
That is so funny. Jazz plus jazz equals jazz.
Equals jazz.
Oh my God, that is so funny. Yes, I love this little runner here. I love that they come back too. And again, it's just building that small town of this is the NPR station. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
100%.
Well, I love all that research. Thanks for doing that. Yeah. It looks like Leslie now is handing out her book to everyone in the Parks Department signed. She wrote a long 3 pages to April, which is so cute. And I love that line of Jerry's, like, yours just says get well. And then she's like, something's off.
You're not sick?
Are you not sick?
Yeah, weird. I like that she also wants them to buy additional copies. Like people need two copies of this.
I know. Exactly.
In their house. So,
oh my God, so good.
I can't get over Chris's hair. Still.
Oh, yeah, I know. The wig.
Which we've discussed in the last episode. Yes. But I think because it's been, and I've watched episodes of this since we've been on break, but when I sat down to take notes again, I was like, oh, bro.
I know.
That's not your look.
Yeah. I feel like last episode was more jarring to me. And maybe that's because it was the first one or whatever. But so what was it again that we decided he had to shave his head, so they put the wig on to look more like the officer in that other movie he was doing? Is that what, okay, yeah.
He was Drew Patterson or Peterson. I can't remember what the last name is.
So crazy. I think they also dyed his hair a little bit in that other movie. So that
it's like more grayish, I think.
Yeah, grayish, blondish kind of vibes. But yes. It was a little bit of a Jim in season whatever moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the only thing for me is that Jim could pull it off because Jim was kind of like, I don't give a fuck.
Like Shaggy. But, yeah, you're right.
But Chris's character is like very put together.
Very gelled back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris says that he's a speed reader, and I just don't believe it. He says he can read with full comprehension. I know that's funny, but I was like, no, Chris, get out of here.
No one.
Also, fun callback, kind of, if you are a listener of the podcast, because we talked about it, but Tom enters with his sound, the ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, and that was a deleted scene where Tom says you have to have a signature sound, and Ben is like, why do we need that? Aren't they just going to recognize you from your face? And he was like, no. And so I thought that was great. I don't know if it was like meant to do that, but anyway.
Yeah, no, I love it. He comes in with more swag, as he does now that he's part of Entertainment 720. I hate these drawstring bags. Like, I don't know if you've ever had them before.
Yeah, the basketball ones or whatever.
Yeah, they are like, they're good for like a year or if that. And then the strings like start to like break or whatever. Like I had a lot in high school and they just like don't survive. But I looked at him, I was like, that thing's not going to survive, especially because it's an Entertainment 720
Yeah,
thing.
Totally. Yeah, he's just a little insane. And then the pillowcase, Never Stop Dreaming, Tom Haverford.
I never do.
I know.
Chris Traeger.
I love that. That was so good.
It is
do you think
on point.
that for Joan Calamezzo's book club that they are parodying Oprah? Because I feel like that's what they were going for.
I 100%. Yeah.
Okay. Because Oprah has
100%.
a book club, and I don't know, I can't speak to whether the books on the book club are good or not, but it does seem like no matter what book you do with Oprah, it's going to be a bestseller. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, because it's Oprah.
Yeah, of course.
And Joan is Pawnee's Oprah, basically.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was also thinking, so this book that that Leslie's talking about in the book club is called The Time Traveler's Optometrist, which I don't know if you remember, I thought it was kind of poking fun at that Rachel McAdams movie, The Time Traveler's Wife.
Yeah, which was a book originally.
Book. Yeah. So I just love how they're like making fun of all of these little pop culture references.
Yeah, it was actually, I think it was IMDb where it said that was actually a reference to the time traveler's wife.
Nice. I mean, it came out around the same time, so I would totally imagine that.
Oh,
also, this is too deep, but like, why does she own these books? Like, she clearly has them, like, to show us.
I know.
I feel like she
has
them.
two. she has
two
the one
copies.
with the sticker and one without it. Why?
I get this visual representation, but I'm like, but you bought it, which maybe is just proving the point further.
Yeah. I love this look that Leslie and Tom give Ben when he's like, Joan has a book club.
Yeah.
Their faces.
They are like, how dare you not know that? Crazy.
Yeah.
But Tom is in charge, or Entertainment 720 rather, is in charge of getting Leslie this sticker for her book. But Joan got an anonymous tip apparently that there's a factual inaccuracy. I want to know who snitched. That is never mentioned, and I want to know who told.
That's a great question that I didn't even think to ask. Who the hell found out? And a part of me is like, that should have been a callback for like maybe someone else that's running against her or something. But again, I think we talked about this with Johnny, the one who plays his Leslie's campaign manager, how that was kind of poking fun at Obama, the birth certificate thing. And so a part of me feels like they didn't really even think about like the plot of it all. They didn't flesh it out.
Right. It was more so just to have that in there. So, but it's still,
because Bobby's still too stupid to do it by himself.
Right. And Bobby is like way further down the line. You know what I mean? Which I can't wait for him. But anyhow.
I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. That's great. We should speculate wildly. As Joan says.
That's my favorite line. That is my favorite line.
So
because
good.
we have said it on the podcast so many times, because I don't have all of the information. I have most of the information, but I don't have all the information. So we need to speculate wildly half the time. So anyhow. I also love that Leslie is telling everyone to fact check. And then she tells Jerry to go on the road and interview everybody, because it makes me think of like, who all was he interviewing? I also go on the road. Like, Pawnee's not that big. It's too deep. I'm getting too deep on it.
Yeah.
But like, I think he's going to Muncie as well, which again, I will be able to tell you with my new book. I will be able to think of some or see who he interviewed. But anyway, so she tells Jerry, but then Anne comes in all excited and energetic to help Ron and April. And even I, like, because the whole thing is that in your summary, as you said, Anne is trying to get close with April and Ron, even if it's just a 5-second conversation. But even I was like, Anne, like, take it down a notch. We don't need to do this.
Yeah. If you have to put this much effort in, is it worth it?
Yeah. I get where she's coming from.
Yeah. She makes a good point where she's like, I've known these people for a long time. Like, why are we not connecting? And it's because it's Ron and April. Like,
right.
They don't connect with anyone. Like, just let it go.
Right. So
anyway, it makes for a good storyline, though.
Totally.
Like
it does. It actually does.
Later.
Okay. So now moving on to where Ben is talking to Joan at the show, if you are.
Yes, and she's introducing herself to Ben, and he's like, "We've met before."
Yeah,
like,
we had a whole last interview where you like grilled me for being the mayor of Icetown or whatever.
Exactly.
But I just love that she thinks that she's right. She's like, no, doesn't ring a bell. Side note, Joan. Again, I'm just telling you all the tea because whatever, but I did message Joan, or Mo Collins as her real name is. And I literally said, because I didn't realize how many times I had messaged her, which it's not that much. It was like 3 times, I think, without a response. And so this time I was just like, hey Mo, this is the last time I bother you, I promise. And I was just like asking my normal questions. And I was like, either way, I hope that you're doing great, blah, blah, blah. Because if they're not responding to me, I just feel like I should just stop messaging them. You know what I mean? A part of me feels like, well, it's up to them to tell me, but it feels weird now to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she did send a voice memo that one time, and that was really nice. So that's, sometimes that's all I can ask for, and that's great. But she did a phenomenal job in this, and so many critics and everybody like really took notice of her performance when this was coming out originally, when this aired. Yeah. So it was really
very
wonderful.
Joan heavy episode.
Totally.
So
they gave her a lot to play with.
Yeah. Amazing.
Okay, Tom comes in and sings his little moment. The whole like, what was that? I'm trying to find the words to describe. Can I tell you, when I first watched this episode, I did not know that was the song he was singing was like the David Guetta one, the Akon one.
Mm-hmm.
I just like, I don't know why, because when I hear the song, I know it's real. I'm like, oh yeah, I've totally heard that. But for whatever reason, when Tom sings it, I'm like, that's not real. He's just making that up. That's so inappropriate. I can't believe he's saying that to Joan.
Because it sounds like what he would say.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like a total Tom line.
Totally. Anyway, without being disrespectful.
So much chest hair.
Oh my God. Tom.
He's in his like chill phase. Like,
yeah.
He's not dressing like a business owner anymore. He's dressing like a millennial entrepreneur.
Yes.
Kind of vibe.
The hipster
you know?
self-starter startup.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep. That one.
This relationship with Tom and Joan has been somewhat talked about in previous episodes. We've seen little glimpses of it, but in this episode it gets even crazier and nastier and weirder, which is so funny. But I love Tom's line of, I'm cute together with everybody. Because Ben says, wow, you guys are really cute together, like sarcastically. But anyways.
Yeah. Also, at this his line about writing coattails, I have pause with it because he wants to be this guy who's known. Right? But if you're writing the coattails of someone, typically you're in the background. You don't really
that's true.
Get known. So
yeah, I think he's probably referring to like, you know, the celebrity people like Kim Kardashian or I don't know, the Basketball Wives kind of vibes, like where they're like, you know what I mean?
They
like
still have a name, but they didn't like do.
Like they didn't, that wasn't their original reason to get discovered, but because they have that tie-in, they are more successful probably, or have the connections to be more successful. So I think that's what he's talking about. Because he even talks about how the government was supposed to be just a connection-making way to, you know, get what he really wanted. So I think that's what he means. But I understand what you're saying.
Okay, I can vibe on that.
All right, so Joan is toying with her. Is she getting a sticker or not? That's really funny. Like, she keeps messing with her as far as like
what is this?
Putting the sticker close to, and I just love that buildup of when Joan is putting the sticker close to the book and Leslie's face is like, are you gonna do it? Stick it. Like she's being like friendly, and then she's like, no, do it. It's really cute.
Yeah. Why is the sticker so big?
It covers a whole book.
It's insane.
That's a great point. I love this line too of the sticker legally determines, like it's a legal fact.
Yeah, I like that too.
Also, I want to know if they did a photo shoot for her because they have like a whole cardboard cutout and like a thing of her holding the picture. And I would imagine, because Perd said that they did that for him for the Perd show. So I would imagine they had a whole day of, or like at least a couple of hours of shooting like a photo shoot for Joan Calamezzo.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
And then that line of, we will speculate wildly because we learned that we don't know where Leslie Knope was really born. No research, just speculating. Love that.
I love this. This feels like a gotcha journalism. In what way?
Right there. You put gotcha over my face.
Yeah.
That is so funny. And then the gotcha dancers come in. This is such an iconic episode. Truly. Like,
it really is. There's so much in this.
It's so good. I did a little breakdown on all the gotcha dancers. At first, I was not sure I was going to be able to find them because they're not technically listed on IMDb under the cast. They're listed as additional crew, quote unquote. They are all
interesting.
I know. They are all actually dancers, so amazing, talented women. The first one that I found was Audrey Douglas, who has done a bunch of dancing and stunts. She's been in La La Land, Dua Lipa's music video. She's been in The Morning Show, which I think I remember the scene that she was in. And if you've seen it, I think it was when Steve Carell's character like turns 50. I think it's his birthday party or something. And they have like a whole thing set up with dancers and cake and music. And it's like a Broadway musical moment. Marty Short is in it, which is hilarious. And she's also on the Eras Tour, Audrey Douglas. The Taylor Swift Eras Tour. She's a dancer with Taylor Swift.
Damn. Okay. So you've seen her in real life.
I guess I I messaged all of them, full disclosure, which like, hello, you know me. Of course I'm going to.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard anything back, but that's okay. I still like, really thank them for everything. So that's amazing. But that's so cool. I follow all of them on Instagram now, so I'll tag them. And then the next one is Noelle Marsh, who has also done a ton of things. She was a dancer in Being the Ricardos, which I have not seen yet. Nicole Kidman and, oh my God, I forgot his name, but it's I Love Lucy. It's about I Love Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's in the new movie, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, which looks so good. I want to watch that. And she's in a bunch of others, but she's also a choreographer and has choreographed award shows and other projects. So that's really cool, too. Dance to me is so amazing. I respect dancers so much. They can just tell such a story.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Amazing.
The third one is Kayla Radomski, who is an actor and dancer, and she also teaches dance, but she has a bunch of film and TV credits as well. She was in Little Mermaid Live, not the one that's currently out, but the one that came out in 2019 where Queen Latifah was Ursula. Anyway, so she was in that, and she was a dancer on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is the the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, many other things. And then Chelsea Trail, who I think I'm pronouncing that right, who was in the movie Burlesque, which is that movie with Cher and Christina Aguilera, which has a lot of dancing in it. And then she was also a dancer in Popstar. I thought you'd be interested in that with the one with Andy Samberg.
Yep, I love him.
And then
Lonely Island.
I know. And then she was also in a Lady Gaga music video, which is awesome. And it looks like she's based in Norway now, which is really fun. So,
that is fun.
So all Gotcha dancers, we thank you so much, and you were amazing. It was so wonderful to see all of you dancing with their matching outfits, and then you see them in the background talking and chatting, and I was just like, those girls are so cool. I was really into them.
Yeah.
Joan
It's
Gotcha
so much energy. They put so much energy into it too.
Totally.
I love it.
Yes, they were so committed. And I love that Chris sings this and Tom joins in. It's really lovely. Joan Gotcha, don't it hurt ya? Okay.
Gotcha.
I bet you thought you'd get away. I want to know who sings it. I was trying to find that out. Like, who is singing that?
Oh, yeah, that would be great to know.
So I'll figure it out one of these days. All right. So Anne gets the call, if you're ready to move on, that they're back at the office and they don't have to fact check anymore.
Yes. However, we missed a scene before that.
Okay. Which one?
When Anne comes in to the office, or they're in the office already sitting together.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry. I just had a couple notes there because I don't know. Have we talked about April's ring?
I don't think so.
Because I just wanted to mention, because you see it very clearly when she's holding the book. Uh-huh. It's so perfect for her. It's just a gold band.
Aww, that is
and I
cute.
think I think it just fits her so well. Yeah. So I think that's why I wanted to mention it, because I was like, I don't think we've mentioned this, and it's such a on character and on love story like vibe for them.
Yeah.
Because it reminded me of Haley in One Tree Hill. Have you seen One Tree Hill?
I have. I'm not. Yeah. I can't quote it like you can, but
I wouldn't say quote it.
Okay, well,
you know
seen
it like
the
4 times.
a little bit more than I do.
Yeah.
I was the OC. It's like I feel like it's Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and One Tree Hill and the OC. Like you can be both, but you lean heavily towards the other.
I agree with that. So for me, like Haley and her husband, I almost said now husband, it's like they're fake people. They got married when they were like 16, 17 in high school, right? And she had almost the same looking band to April. And later her husband becomes like an NBA star and all this stuff, right? So he has money to replace the ring, but he never does. And I think there's just like this beauty of like our love started here and we accepted each other here.
Yeah. And
this is where we're at.
Yeah.
And there's something similar with Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Oh,
do you know who they are?
Yeah.
I think she has like I can't remember if it's her, if it's her parents, because I read her book and this story was in there that I think it's her, but she has like a very plain ring and he tried to give her something more fancy once they made all this money from the TV show. And she was like, no, this is the ring you proposed to me with. This is our ring.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I want. And so I just thought it was such a beautiful, and I know that April's not a flashy person anyway, but I just equated it with
The simplicity
Like, this
of
is what
them.
their love is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is what their love is. And she's never going to want more than that. And she's not going to ever want Andy to be, she's not pushing for him to be more than what he is.
Yeah.
And I think there's just such beauty about that.
Totally. That's such a great point. I mean, that's how their relationship started anyway. Like you were talking about, you know what I mean? Like they never started as being flashy or anything. And she always said that too. She was, and like when he was not having money to pay for drinks at the bar, she was like, I don't care. I just want to hang out with you, you know?
Yeah.
That's really like a nice illustration of that. Also, I have had something in my teeth for so long and I can't get
I couldn't
it
see it.
out. It's this little black thing right there.
Okay, I can see it now. But it's not like popping out at me. Otherwise, I would have told you.
So I'm like, sorry if they see me like or hear me picking at my teeth. Anyways.
Yeah, it gets uncomfortable. The only other line I have from that before we go back to the office where they can stop fact checking is there's tabs in April's book.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too.
Kind of like yours. And that seems so un-April to me that I was like, how much does she really care about this for Leslie? That she's actually like tabbing shit. And Ron's highlighting.
I know. I saw that too.
So
a part of me is like, I don't know. A part of me, again, this is too deep. I don't care. A part of me is like, did Leslie put those tabs in there for you so that you could know where exactly to look? I don't know.
It could be.
But no,
So,
I mean,
yeah.
You're right. I don't know. They're
Either
both,
way,
I think they're both trying though, a tiny bit. But okay, we'll get there when we get there. I have other things to say. Okay. Oh, no, this is actually perfect because the thing that I was going to say is after that scene where Anne gets the call that they don't have to fact check anymore because now they know that Joan got that inaccuracy that she wasn't born in Pawnee. And I was so mad at April for throwing down the book. She throws the book and runs out of Ron's office. And I get that that's like April's character, but I was like, how fucking dare you? Like, what?
That you're
That's
a model,
so rude.
like you're...
Yes, Leslie
Your
literally
mentor?
wrote you. I literally have the word mentor in here. Yeah. Like wrote you a love letter mentorship moment. And now you're just having to pretend like you're a cool kid and you're so excited to leave. Rude. I hate it.
Yeah. Rude.
Anyway.
I agree with that.
I just needed to say that, get that off my chest. So, okay. Now we're at the Tom and Joan moment. I love this line or the way that he pronounces Joni. What was that? It's so cute to me.
It's so whiny.
I know. And Tom says they're going to take Joan to lunch now to persuade her to get the sticker. And she says, I'm going to change into something more tantalizing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Phoebe's saying hi, by the way.
Hi, Phoebe.
I thought I would leave the door open and just see how it goes, even though I knew she would come in here, but I'll still leave it open. Anyway, but yeah, she's changing into more tantalizing things, and I was like, oh my God, creepy, weird. But also, like, Joan, do you? But the thing that's really weird and awful is the cologne spray amount that Tom sprays himself with.
I literally have it written. I am puking right now. That is so much cologne. Why?
Absolutely not. Ben's face was my face. I was like, why?
Yeah.
I really hope that was like water in that bottle, like for set purposes.
Oh, it had to be. There's no way you let anybody spray themselves that much.
Oh my
That's so gross.
God. So crazy.
Because even 2 or 3 sprays is like, that's a good amount.
Yeah.
And you do the spray, delay, walk away, right? You don't just spray
I've
yourself
never heard
in the
that
face.
saying. I love that. I mean,
yeah,
that's what I
it's
do,
from
but
Queer Eye.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I've been watching
I haven't
Queer
used this
Eye.
it all the way. It's so good.
Amazing. Have you watched the new season?
No, but I have to be in the right mindset. So let me tell you, I've been more emotional, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big like crier, but like my brother and I are watching One Tree Hill together. I think I've told you.
Yeah.
We're like almost close to the end. And I've been like crying. And he's like, Sissy, like it's not that sad. I'm like, but you don't
understand. Sometimes, you know what?
So,
I get it. I really do get it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it hits you in a way that you had no idea was going to hit you. Queer Eye
So
for sure,
real.
though. Like the
Oh, it
first
hits you.
one. So the first one is a frat house that they do, and I wasn't as emotional because I don't know. They're all like, they're not frat bros, but they're dirty and messy boys, and I'm just like, I don't need it. But the second one is so good. Baby, stop.
well, they just pull at your heartstrings.
They really
right?
do.
They're there
I
to
cried
help
in the second
people.
one because it's this lesbian gal who's like had to hide herself because she's in a small southern town and just like it's so good. So I definitely cried. So yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So I have not been in the emotional state to watch that.
Yeah. It's tough
unless
though,
I
too,
feel
right?
like I need a
Because
good cry.
Yeah, that's true. Unless you need a good cry. But it is also tricky because it's like it makes you feel so sad and so happy at the same time. So most of the time it's happy joy, but it still is like,
yeah.
feelings.
Oh yeah. I absolutely love that show. So that's where we got it, and that's what Ivan does. Like he doesn't say it out loud as much anymore, but he even like sways his hips like Jonathan does.
Yes.
Like when he walks away.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh my God, love it.
So yeah. Anyway, so that's the point.
Yeah, it really
2 or 3
reminded-
sprays, spray delay, walk away. You don't need to be spraying yourself in the face.
Yeah.
Yuck.
And it reminded me kind of like the Axe body spray that people used to be so obsessed with too.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Gross.
Oh yeah.
You guys, 1 spray, 2 sprays is enough. We'll smell it. I promise. And I think cologne is so much more pungent than women's perfume. It's just
really
so
is.
much more. And I didn't realize also, I feel like we've talked about this before when we were talking about Dennis Feinstein, but I didn't realize that the perfume mixes with your skin personally. So the perfume is going to smell a little tiny bit different on each person's skin. And I was like, what? And it makes total sense because your DNA and your makeup is different. So, and like we all have our own individual like odor naturally. So like, not bad or good or whatever, just like our natural scent. And so that combined with cologne. Anyhow, that was a long ass tangent that I did not know I was going to go on, but loved it.
That's okay. We're all here for it. And I'm sure everybody else was just as disgusted by the cologne thing as we were.
Yes.
So.
Okay. So now Leslie's doing her tour schedule and she's reading at a bookstore and it just started and there's already questions. She literally just started. And I feel like news spreads so fast because they were just at the news station and somehow it got out within the next hour or so, I'm guessing, like on the way to the bookstore.
Right. So does Joan air live? Because then that would make sense.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Okay.
I would assume so. I'm going to say that makes sense.
Because I'm sure people showed up to the bookstore just because they saw Joan.
Right.
And they were like, oh, we're going to go and
maybe it's like
give
even further
this lady
after.
shit.
Like maybe Joan was during the day and then they aired it and then the bookstore was next. That sounds right. People
Could
saw
be.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Either way, it still was a lot. Like really fast.
Yeah. Very fast. This lady that asks the first question, like, I think I speak for everyone when I say, right? Behind her, there's a book with a Joan book club sticker on it.
Oh my God, I didn't notice that.
On a table. Yeah.
Wow.
I can't see what the book is because the sticker's so fucking big.
Oh my God.
But
yeah.
but there is a book behind her that has the sticker.
Oh my God. That is wild. Oh my gosh. Yep. All tying it together. I bet it's the optometrist book.
You got to get some use out of the 2 versions that Leslie has in her office.
I do. I actually, this was kind of close running for my favorite line. I just love the way that she performed this. I think I speak for everyone in the entire world when I say we need to know where you were born. It's just so good.
So well delivered.
This lady's name is Dee Baldus. She's been on Pretty Little Liars, Moving On, a lot of commercials, and a bunch of other things that I wasn't mega familiar with, but she's done a lot. Also, her headshots and pictures are awesome. I always take notice of that when they're really good headshots on IMDb or their website. So I did reach out to her.
Is that her natural hair color?
I mean, that's what all her
from the pictures
have.
Nice.
Because wait, what natural hair color did she have in the show?
It's like bright red.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, all her pictures, I mean, maybe she dyes it, but all her pictures have that. So
cool.
Great job, Dee Baldus.
I like it. Yes, we loved it.
Okay. I love that Chris says who all of you are actually born from Pawnee or like raised in Pawnee, and everyone raises their hand, because this really brought me back to, it hits really close to home for me, because everyone in my hometown, including my mom, was born and raised in their hometown. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's for real, because I felt the same way, because when I moved to Prescott, it was like I was some alien because I didn't grow up in Prescott or even in Arizona.
Yeah.
And so that Prescott was really my first glimpse of what a Pawnee kind of is like.
Yeah.
Because of that people were born and raised there. They don't really ever move from there. Like their kids go to the same high school they went to, you know? So It is funny because Chris, someone who's traveled all over, you know, and isn't even from Indiana in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh, okay, you're all from here. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So
it is wild.
They take it seriously, huh?
Yeah, because Chris and Ben are are the yous of the situation. You know what I mean? Like, where they're not from this town. So they're like, it's not that big of a deal, but it is to them.
Right.
Ugh.
Unless I love that Leslie still raises her hand.
I know, that was really
like
cool.
as a F you guys for.
Yeah, totally. Like so. I am. And I love this, the lady who said, where's your birth certificate? And she has to say, I don't carry it on me. Like that's, first of all, that's very relatable because I feel like people always like will say anything, where's your birth certificate? Where's your driver's license? Where's this, that, and the other? I'm like, I don't have that. No one cares their birth certificate. But her name is Lila Waters in real life, and she actually passed away in 2021.
Oh no!
I know. What a legacy she left to the Parks fan, though. Like, I'm sure, and also to her friends and family. Like, rest in peace, Lila. So wonderful.
Yeah, you did a great job.
I know, that was so funny. And just as a little homage to her, I wanted to let everyone know that she taught classes many places. She taught acting classes. One of them was the Road Theater Company in North Hollywood. And she was in a bunch of shows and television, such as film and television, such as Reform Schoolgirls and Paper Moon. I am not familiar with those shows, but I did look them up, and they do have pretty decent ratings, so I'm sure somebody knows about it. And she was also in Parks, obviously. Side note, I Googled her name, and her autographed headshots are being sold on eBay. So hopefully if people are buying that, the money is going to like either a good cause or the family, or if she was doing that before she passed away. I don't know, but I was like, is this really her? Because it's like an older picture, meaning like she was younger. And so I'm like, okay, I just don't know where the money's going to. But either way, great work, Lila. We're thinking of you and we thank you. All right, so now Mel Cowan, the red-faced man, comes back. Oh my God, so exciting. For those of you that are new / can't remember, Mel Cowan was one of our first interviews on the pod as a guest. He was in the episode with, well, a bunch of episodes really, but he was the one that was complaining about, like, he was yelling at girls' soccer team, I think. He was like on the sidelines yelling at them. And he's not a red-faced man at all. He's very kind.
No.
And I follow him on Instagram, and he is at all of the not all of, but he's been at quite a few of the writer strikes days. So he's a big supporter of that, as we all should be. And I did email him, and I haven't heard from him or anything, but I think he's still doing his improv team. I want to say it's called something Lady, Significant Lady. Shoot. Mel, I'm sorry if you're listening. You're probably not. But either way, he has the line, go back to where you came from, and you might as well be from China. And I think when we were interviewing him, which everyone should really go back and listen to it, because it was a really good interview with, like, because he did improvise a lot. He said he got to improvise a lot with them. And I don't think they kept a lot of it in, but I feel like it was a really interesting history / not history, but behind the scenes on how you do come in to improvise with these actors that have already, have the kind of grease the wheels with their characters and stuff. But I'm pretty positive he said the China line was improvised. So, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because it was a throwaway. Like, you can barely hear him say it, which I think also on a deeper level is kind of wild, because it's just showing that America, it has, and I feel like always will have, like, a beef with China. Like, just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's terrible. Anyhow,
yeah,
it's such a perfect picture of, like, the bigotry in a small town. You know what I mean? That could happen.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So, great job with Mel. But anyway,
I love him.
I know, me too. Andy also, side note, is taking this so seriously. He's like, I'm in the Secret Service. This crowd is very hostile. Let's get you out of here.
I have the same note that I love that he's taking his job so seriously.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, he pushes a lady away.
I don't love that he did that.
Then,
I will say. I almost wrote a note about it. And then I was like, just leave it. But now that you said it.
She was not a threat.
Right. Totally.
But that he was like, I can't let anybody move towards Leslie.
Yeah.
Like, it's just funny to me.
Totally.
So.
Totally. So they all leave. The crowd really does get hostile. And now we're at the restaurant with Tom and Ben and Joan, if you are.
Yes. And Joan is claiming that Val Kilmer told her that she could be a model.
That
and in case people don't know, I love Ben's line so much that didn't happen. Val Kilmer is he was in Top Gun and Batman Forever, and I've only seen pictures of him recently. So when I looked up pictures of him in Top Gun, in like that came out in the 80s, right?
I couldn't say, but probably, yeah.
Okay, 80s, 90s, I don't know. But he looked much different than he looks now, and I get why.
86.
Okay.
Anyway, okay.
I thought so. I get why she would have been flattered by that comment. He's also in Batman Forever.
Yeah, now he looks a little rough.
Yeah.
That's so sorry.
I think he's had some work done.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
He's 63 years old now.
But yeah, back in the day.
Yeah. And he has cancer now.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Val.
So
that might be why.
yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to hell. But thank you, Val.
You looked so good in 86, bro.
And you look fine now, okay? You're fine. You're perfect just the way you are. And I hope that you beat it. I think you're right, though.
Yes.
I do see some like cheek work or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This industry sucks. It just makes you feel like you need to get all the work done so that you can keep working.
Seriously.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Anyhow, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the next line that jumps out to me is that Joan compares herself to a caged peacock.
Oh my gosh, yes. Which is kind of a funny parallel because Tom said in like the first or second episode, like he's like peacocking with that like pink hat thing that he has on. It's really funny to see the flashbacks or callbacks or whatever. But I was going to say too that now, so Tom is like being cringy the usual amount, whatever. And Joan says that she is divorced now, so Tom shouldn't make any sexual promises that he can't keep,
which he shouldn't have been doing anyway.
Correct.
When she was married. So I don't feel bad for him.
Yeah, because
you shouldn't have been playing with this line anyway.
Right. Oh my god.
It's not appropriate, but
yeah, totally.
Tom is Tom.
Yep. This, I don't know. I might have to do multiple favorite lines for this one, dude, because this next one is so funny. She says she's going to go powder her nose, amongst other things.
And then
Ben is like, is she going to powder her vagina?
I also love his line when he's like, no, it seems to be going the usual amount of gross.
Yes, totally. Also, that trip / like fall that she kind of trips over Tom's chair because she's so drunk looks so real, which was one of the questions that I was asking her in the last email, because I was like, did you really fall, or were you an amazing actor? Because she like, it could be either, because she truly like bends in half and like goes down almost. Anyway.
She plays this drunk thing so well. Like all of it. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you. How do you say the word caramel?
Caramel.
Okay, I say caramel.
Okay.
I think that might need to be a vote in the Instagrams, because
I think so too.
She calls Tom caramel, chocolate caramel, or just regular caramel. No, piece of caramel. Whatever. She says she pronounces it caramel, and I was like, I say caramel.
Maybe it's a Midwest thing.
I wonder. That's a great question. I know a lot of friends of mine, though, that say that too. So that might be a good test. Anyhow, I was just curious.
Yeah. It is interesting because it's the same thing with pecan and pecan.
Yeah. Pecan.
So, yeah.
I can't remember. How do I say that? Pecan. I think I say pecan.
I can never remember. If somebody said it, I can never remember, which is why I'm glad you spelled caramel.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I have to not lead her into it. I always struggle with that. Well, anyhow, I was just curious. So now Tom wants Ben to throw some cold water on the situation by saying some nerd stuff, which I love the nerd stuff that he does say. And like, nerd culture isn't really like, you're out of the zeitgeist. I thought that was a really cool one.
Which is really true.
Totally.
If you look at like the time of us growing up, like now it's cool to like Star Wars 100%. And Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. Like, whereas I totally get it. Like back in like when Star Wars first came out, it was like the nerdy thing. Yeah.
1,000%.
So.
Well, back at the office, Anne is still trying to win over Ron and April. And side note, behind Anne, Donna has her Galentine's Day gift that Leslie made with the bottle caps or whatever it is of her face. That was so cute.
Love it.
I wanted to tell you, there were a couple of deleted scenes with different tactics that Anne tried to use. And honestly, like April and Ron were kind of mean in these deleted scenes, and so I'm kind of glad they cut them because they're even like a little bit off-putting in this. Like April was kind of rude, I just felt like, and I was like, this is, I get it, but also I don't know. So April pretends to be on the phone in the deleted scene and then literally just tells Anne, like, stop talking and, like, interrupts her. And it's just too much. And then Ron just says, get out of my office. And I'm like, I'm sure they weren't going to put all of it in there. Maybe they were alternates or something. But I don't know. It was too much for me. So I'm kind of glad that they just left in what they left in, you know?
Yeah. Good.
So.
Yeah. Because even the stuff they left in, it was very character based. Like it was definitely on par with who the characters are. But it still was like, you feel bad for Anne.
Yeah,
you're like
100%. Yeah.
You're trying to be a nice person.
I know. I don't know why it's so important to her to bond with these people, but I think at this point now where we are, like at the beginning we were wondering, and now at this point it's just like she just wants to win. She just wants to check it off her box. You know what I mean? And prove to herself that she can do it.
I think there's some part of her, because if I put myself in Anne's shoes, there's some part of her like Leslie sees these people to love in both of these people, right? In Ron and April. And Leslie has special relationships with both of these people. And I don't think it's anything about Anne feeling like threatened by it or anything like that, but that she wants to be close to the people that Leslie's close to.
Well, and now Anne works there. So, I mean, she also wants to make sure that she kind of has somewhat of a relationship, which, I mean, is totally, you know, to your own preference, whether you want to be friends with your coworkers or not. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I think she just at this point wants to be like friendly. She doesn't want to be BFFs. She just wants to like be able to say, hey, like, what's one thing about you that I don't know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So also side note, if you'll remember, Ron had a stick at the beginning that he was carving, and now it is a full-fledged recorder.
Yes.
Props department.
Because he works that
Great
fast.
For you. I know, seriously.
Yeah.
A part of me was like, did Nick Offerman have this at some point? Did he actually do it? Because he could have done it probably. In real life. I don't know.
He could have. Yeah. He's got the skill, man. He's got the skill.
He's got it. Well, anyhow, props department. If it was you, great job. But Leslie is meeting with her campaign managers, and the birth certificate that she shows them just has Wamapoke County on it, but she needs to get the long form certificate. And side note, I did, well, I'll tell you that when we get to Eagleton, because I looked up some stuff about birth certificates, but she needs a long form certificate. Side note, Johnny Sneed, who we also interviewed, is in this episode. So go back and listen to his episode as well, because it's so good and he's amazing. Also, I was going to tell you, so this kind of goes back to what I was mentioning before. There is a deleted scene with Johnny talking about who they think might have spread the rumor. But I would have liked to know that. It just says basically he just said it's probably just somebody trying to like also run a campaign or something. And I'm like, I don't care. I want to know who it is. Anyways, but I did like that in the deleted scene that they kind of at least mentioned it. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what it could be? Is that her mom was having a conversation with someone and accidentally let it slip.
Maybe.
Like it wasn't malicious. It was just, well, it was during that time when the raccoons were, so I had to take, and somebody else could have overheard it or been part of that conversation and used it.
Totally. Also, when you said raccoons, it just reminded me, the front page of this book has raccoons on the side.
Of course it does.
And there's like literally nothing else. It's her, the sign of Pawnee, and raccoons. That's on par with what the show's There's
about.
There's a whole section about the raccoons, so I'll keep you guys posted. But Eagleton, I was going to say, Eagleton, like this, so they go to the Eagleton office, birth certificate office, or records office, whatever the hell. And it kind of reminds me of The Good Place, which I don't know if I've mentioned that before, but I wonder if there's any correlation there. Like if, I don't know, they were thinking about The Good Place while they were doing this. You know?
Mm-hmm. Very well could have been.
But
had The Good Place started coming out yet?
No, I don't think so. I think it was like still in like the mind of Mike Schur, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if it had come out. But anyway, it all connects at some point, to be honest.
Yes.
So at the Eagleton office, there is a lady, Alexis Pratchett, who works there. And I was with Leslie. I was like, okay, take it down a notch, Alexis.
Amen. I was all about that.
Because she definitely has the same air as Lindsay Carlisle Shea, the one that Leslie left the job for in Pawnee. I thought that they did a great job, that Eagletons all have this like snobby, wealthy, walking on like water and pearls voice. Like, I don't know, diamonds are floating around.
Better than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Void of like emotion.
Yeah, totally. Yes. I did. Oh, go ahead. You go first.
Oh, I was just going to say that Chris comes up to try to help.
Oh my gosh.
And because in Pawnee, he's beautiful and he can get away with that. And I think it was just like flooring for him to be like, oh my gosh, here I'm just a normal person.
Yes, totally. Oh my God. I loved that so much. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I did reach out to Alexis Pratchett is the character name. Her name is Elizabeth Sandy in real life. She is amazing. And she sent me a voice memo.
Yay.
She was so great.
You.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Oh my gosh. We love, she's an actor and a dancer, or at least she was. I meant to ask her about that. You can tell me later, Elizabeth, or I'll ask you via email. But she has also been in Modern Family, Me, Myself, and I. She's been involved in a couple short films, commercials. It looks like she has some behind the camera experience as well. Looks like she was a boom operator in some horror mystery movies, which is cool as well. And then she was born in Melbourne, so she's actually an Australian actress, and she has an Australian actress. She has an Australian accent, and it is beautiful. And I will play it for you. But I did want to make it clear that she said that she was like really nervous at first, and she ended up having an awesome time, obviously, and she just could not say nicer things about it. But just as a heads up, this one, hers is about 11-ish minutes long. So, but I think that I cut it in a way where all the information is really juicy and cute and whatever. So I'm just going to play it for you right now. And thank you, Elizabeth.
Hey, Holly and Maddie. It's Elizabeth Sandy here. Thanks so much for having me on your Parks and Rec podcast. How did I get my job on Parks and Recreation, which was a little while ago now? I played Alexis Pratchett. So it's a funny story, really, because I'm actually Australian, if you can't tell by my accent. And I had been in the USA for quite some time, but I was on a specific visa that I later found out wasn't accepted by certain networks, which was quite devastating. So all I could really do was independent film and commercials and things like that. But Parks and Rec, which was a network show, was my first job after I got my green card. So it was quite significant in that it was my first day on a big Hollywood set, I guess you could say. So needless to say, I was pretty nervous. I remember the audition. They were very, very kind. I got the audition kind of a day before I was meant to go in there, and it was quite a lot of words really for, the day before or even the night before. I think it was like 8 p.m. and I had to be there at like 11 a.m. or something like that. So I do remember very much running my lines all night. I was in the shower running them. And when I got there, I don't know, something about the character just kind of clicked. Maybe because I'm a little bit type A myself, that the character of Alexis kind of plugged in some way. I was submitted by my agent. I auditioned, and thankfully I was pinned and then got the job, and I could actually do it because I had all of my immigration stuff. I was really familiar with the show. I loved it. I'm a huge Amy Poehler, huge Tina Fey fan. Even though Tina Fey's not in the show, I know they're very much a team. So I was thrilled for that to be one of my first big American TV jobs. Really thrilled. Nervous, of course, but however, on the day on set, I don't think I was quite ready for the whole kind of network TV experience. At that point I'd worked a lot in Australia. I'd worked on independent films in America and commercials and things like that, but I hadn't really experienced, going to set and having all the writers, all the producers, all the, the director, all the actors lined up and surrounding me as we ran the scene. And that's what happened. So I did feel somewhat intimidated. It wasn't like, I was their main focus, but it kind of felt that way because I'd never experienced having all those people watching the rehearsal process, watching the walkthrough, and just kind of, they were talking really about the logistics of it. But as an actor, as I'm sure you understand, you very much kind of tune in to the stress of a set or the stress of people wanting things to work out, and invariably kind of make it about maybe I'm not doing a good job, or maybe I've messed up somehow. So nervous certainly was where I was at, even after having worked in the industry for, I started working in the Australian industry when I was 13, 14. So I was pretty seasoned at this point, but I'd never experienced anything like being on a big set like that. But it was amazing experience. And the actors, talk about professionals. There's a reason why they're all so successful. Their work ethic was amazing, really down to earth. All of them were so kind to, I felt like it was my first day at school a little bit, and they were so welcoming. And Amy Poehler was so kind. She came up to me and said, Elizabeth, do you want to run lines? Let's run lines. Just like we were, equal, I suppose, in the hierarchy of a network TV show. So that was really, really nice. I was just soaking it in. It couldn't have really been a better experience because the actors were so kind, the writers were so kind. One of the writers came up to me. She said, I'm so thrilled with how you played the character, and thank you so much. And meanwhile, me being the actor thinking, oh God, I messed up a line, I've ruined it. The writer herself came up to me and thanked me. That was really, really rewarding. I think in terms of the characterization of Alexis, I think that it was very well written in that it was very clear that she was a type A personality, and she was kind of a snob, and she was a bit of a nemesis to Amy's character, to Leslie. But I do feel like I was able to have so much fun with it. I kind of thought of her as kind of maybe she'd been a beauty pageant contestant when she was younger, and she had very much had that poise and that kind of I will kill you with kindness vibe. And that was very much how I approached the role. So you asked the direction where I kind of try to shut down Chris when he's mirroring me and trying to kind of almost seduce me into getting what he wants. I very much decided that I wanted to keep that kind of very kind, very beauty pageant-esque quality about myself, about Alexis, even when I'm telling someone no. So I did definitely make a conscious choice to say, I'm sorry, no, in a super kind way, and very much in a way that was shutting him down. It's almost like I had this glass wall that was shielding me from his charms, which were very much something that he relied upon. So I thought that was an interesting choice, and I think that ultimately helped me. The way the character was written was so clear and so well written that it was easy to get an idea of what the character was supposed to be. When I got the audition, I thought, well, anyone can read this and interpret it in a way that is probably, right for the role. So as an actor, I often think, okay, so what can I do to kind of give it a little twist? I try to think, okay, so in this position, how would she walk? How would she talk? How would she hold herself? And how would she say no? And I came to the a realization that she probably would say no with a smile. The location of the Eagleton office was at the studio. It was at CBS. So yeah, it was a set. Great set. But I do remember after I'd exited my, little spiel, the scene continued on. So I had to kind of hide behind a kind of a flat until they'd finished. It's not like I made this exit and went off about my business. I was trying to make myself small and trying to make myself hidden so that I wasn't found on camera while the scene was progressing. But an amazing set and very convincing. So definitely felt like I was an Eagleton through and through. I just look back on the whole experience as a really fond memory. Yes, I was very, very nervous. And yes, I felt a bit like I didn't do the best job that I could have. But that's just, I think, an actor. You can always think, I could have done this or I could have tweaked that. But at the end of the day, I really, I think that my role as a day player, as a guest role, served the story and worked to serve the main character's journey. Co-stars, guest stars are very important in that they help the story kind of progress, and without them it really can't, because they kind of fuel the lead character's journey and fuel their storylines. So when I look back on it, despite having all of my actor hang-ups and all of my ego, the character of Alexis really kind of fulfilled the purpose that she was meant to. And the fact that her hair was perfect, yes, the hair, I really liked that hairstyle. It was very, not a hair out of place, I guess I would say, about that hairstyle. And the outfit too. I mean, very prim, very put together. But that was very appropriate for the character. And I think that hair and wardrobe and makeup really play a part in carving out the way an actor feels about their character. I have nothing bad to say about my experience on Parks and Rec. I'm really thankful for it, and especially because it was my first network Hollywood show. And now I'm back in Australia and I'm working here. So right now I'm auditioning out here in Australia again. I'm still auditioning for the US based shows, but I'm primarily based in Australia, and I am just living life and being a gigging actor, hoping for more experiences like that first one. But I really appreciate you hearing out my story. If you have any other any other questions at all, I'd be happy to answer. But as I mentioned, there is nothing bad to say about any of the Parks and Rec cast, and it was a dream working with Amy and Rob and Chris. I mean, they're superstars and comedic whizzes, and I really love comedy. It's really something that I have explored a lot, and I hope to explore more. So to be able to work with such comedic talent was a complete honour. But thank you so much for being a fan of the show, and I wish you all the best for the rest of your podcast. Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I will talk to you at some point. I look forward to hearing more about what you guys talk about the show. Thanks so much.
Yay!
How wonderful.
I know.
She had a lot of great things to say.
Yeah, so much. Yeah, but that was
Absolutely.
so amazing. That was great, and I'm so happy that she sent me things. I was taking notes also as it was happening, even though I had kind of listened to it because I had edited it. But I wanted to let people know that pinned, she mentioned that she was pinned. That means that she, and we've talked about this before, but basically it started because you were on a cork board. Your picture is on a cork board, and you are pinned on the cork board because they're hoping to hire you maybe, but they want to make sure before they make their decision. So they're it's kind of, I don't know, it's a hit or miss because because it's a great thing, but it's also like you can't do literally anything else while they're making their decision. Like you're basically on hold. So,
Right.
but that's awesome that she got it. And then the rehearsal process on camera, that was really interesting to hear about like having all the crew and camera people watching you and everything. And I thought that was really cool. And Amy running lines, that's so cool because even I
know.
don't always do that. You know what I mean? And so I think that is really wonderful that someone that's running the show basically is like just welcoming you and being like, hey, want to run these lines and like just get comfortable with what we're doing. I thought that's so professional. But yeah, I did ask about her hairstyle because did you notice her hairstyle?
Yeah.
It was so cool. So I was like, will you please just tell me about that and like what you felt about it? And then Chris Traeger, obviously. And yeah, I'm glad that she told us about the hiding behind the like little desk thing there or something. Because when Andy goes to get the birth certificate, like illegally, quote unquote, whatever, I'm like, where did she go? Did she just leave? Like, she's not there anymore. But I also just...
It's interesting that like the receptionist wouldn't stay out there too.
I know. Yeah. I guess they had to do that so that Andy could break in. But still, I was like, okay. But yeah, I'm glad that she told us about that because that's something that I definitely wouldn't have known or thought to really even ask. So I'm happy that she told us that. And I just love the... you know, how honest and, you know, vulnerable she was about how nervous and like the imposter syndrome of like, I messed everything up, but it was great. It was phenomenal. Like so good. She did so well. And also the voice that she put on was so good. Like you would never know that she was just putting on an English accent, but she clearly was a professional and did her research and work and stuff. And I just thought it was great.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree completely. Thank you for the voice memo.
Yes, thank you so much, Elizabeth. And yeah, we'll let you know if we have any other questions or if anyone else does. But yeah, best of luck on all your auditions. I hope that you book all the things and you get to work with all the actors. Did you notice that there's cucumber water in the back? Like it's a spa, basically?
No, but of course there would be.
Yeah, totally. I thought it was so funny.
Yeah, that's great. Great background thing.
Yeah,
there.
and then when Andy comes out too, they're just like chilling, eating like pastries. Amy Fuller and Rob Lowe. I thought that was really funny.
Which like again is follow through from the jail when she gets scones in the morning.
Totally, that's true.
Yeah.
So I was going to tell you about the birth certificate thing really fast, but maybe you have something before that. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I'm sure most people have seen the blooper from the scene.
Oh yeah, totally.
When Andy throws the briefcase and it hits the light switch. I always thought that was so funny, but I didn't know he shut down the power when he did that.
Yeah. I've heard that too.
He fucked up the power.
But did it say like of how they got it back on or anything? Or if they had to come back the next day?
No, I didn't say anything about that. But it's funny.
Because it was, so that means it was a real light switch. It wasn't a prop?
Right. Well, because you'll even see it in... And maybe it was a prop, but that they just had electricity there because in the blooper, when he tosses it and it hits the light switch, the lights go off.
Yeah, you're right.
So
that's wild.
Yeah, and then this one where he goes back and he falls over the.
And the computer falls? Did you notice that?
And the computer falls.
Yeah.
Yeah, the computer falls. That's also like was completely real reactions from Amy Poehler and Rob Lowe.
Yeah, because I wrote down, like, was that real, the computer falling? I'm sure that wasn't scripted. Because that looked like a real-ass iMac.
Yeah.
That just fucking fell.
He just destroyed the entire fucking set.
I know, right? Oh, my God. Just Pratts. That's insane.
He's so funny, though.
Oh, my God. Well, I hope that it didn't cost too much. I mean, they have the money, but still. Oh, my God.
Yeah. I also love, before you get to that, when he comes back and he goes, real quick, spell your last name for me.
Yeah, he like doesn't know his boss's last name.
Yeah. But I'm really glad he does, because knowing Andy, he'd go back there and look for the ends.
Totally. Well, my thing also was like, why didn't Alexis Pratchett ask to like fill out a form or something? She straight up was just like, nope, you have to
3 to 8 weeks
and buy. And then she just leaves.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And I think if I were to justify it, I guess I would say like, well, they stepped aside and were like, dang it, I can't do that. So what do I like? So she was like, okay, they can figure it out for a moment, and I'm just going to leave them to figure it out, like what they want to do. But Yeah, I was like, there has to be a way to at least get the process started. But also, why does it take 6 to 8 weeks if it's literally in the back?
Correct. Which was my question. And I looked that up. So if you don't have that, then I'll share. But I know you have stuff on the birth certificate.
The only thing that I have, honestly, is that it typically takes 4 to 8 weeks to receive your certified birth certificate copy in the mail. And if you need your replacement sooner, there's premium services. There's something called vitalrecordsonline.com, and they offer a rush package with expedited shipping. To me, that seems a little sketchy because I would rather it come directly from the birth certificate department of whatever the hell, I forgot. But okay. And then some states it says, apparently it depends on the state in some places, because some states may even be able to provide a copy within 2 to 3 business days. And I was like, what the F? So that's what I found. But yeah, I would love to hear what you found too.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's 1 to 5 days in Tennessee is what I found, and 1 to 2 weeks in Arizona. So it is state by state,
which is weird.
So I should have looked up Indiana. Dumb.
Oh, then that's okay.
Hold on.
I mean, basically, the long story short is that it takes a couple weeks, or at least a week, to get it, and then they have to ship it to you. But also, again, why is it in the back and it still takes 6 to 8 weeks?
Right. And I wonder, is it like a verifying process to make sure you're giving the birth certificate to the right person? Like, because that could get really dangerous.
Probably too, because who knows how many requests for them they are.
Right.
But again, you would think that if you were to go in person like Leslie did and it's literally in the back, that they'd be fine with it, but that's stupid. So
yeah.
Anyhow.
So long form in Indiana, it says anywhere from 2 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
So that checks out for what they said.
Yeah. But Alexis, you could have gone back there.
I know.
But again, she played it so well of the whole like snobby moment of like, no, sorry. I did specifically ask her about Chris Traeger, how that was to act with Rob Lowe. And, that's why she brought up that moment and how she would respond back to that. And then I always ask, like, did you guys have a backstory with this? Or like, did you come up with any sort of like anchor to root you to your character? And that's what she was saying too about, I love the beauty pageant thing. I think that would totally be real.
Great. Yeah.
Okay, so now back at the restaurant, Joan is wildly drunkenly singing to the whole restaurant. Let's hear it for the boys. Which, by the way, is in Footloose. Yes, Jinx. And so good. And then also Ben starts talking about Star Trek, and I thought that was hilarious. So I totally respect it. I didn't understand anything he was saying because I'm not a Trekkie, but it's fine.
Yeah, me either.
I just love that he's so into it, though. He's like, let's just say the message boards are going crazy.
Yeah. Well, and it's great because this is supposed to slow things down, and Joan's now like, well, I want you to. Let's go.
Exactly. And there is a deleted scene where Joan says, like, this is where I think that this deleted scene must have been improvised, because you can kind of see Adam Scott breaking a tiny bit, but I think Mo Collins improvised quite a bit. She says that she has a Captain Kirk outfit for Ben to wear when they get home. It's so funny, and I love it. I just don't think that was in there.
High levels of doubt. That's amazing. I have to say, this is a redeemable moment for Tom for me.
Yeah, that's fair. That's because really
true. They could have just let her figure it the fuck out,
Yeah.
And he was like, listen, she's way past. We need to at least get her home.
Right.
And so I was like, you know what, Tom, like, you're not always a sleazeball. Like, if I was Joan, I wouldn't expect it of Tom.
Yeah.
But I would be really appreciative, especially as a big figure in the town, like that you weren't just left there to continue to make a fool of yourself.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Especially because Ben's like, well, like, you want to go like sleep with her still kind of thing? Like what?
Yeah.
But then Tom is like explaining that we have to get her home. Tom really loves these paintings at Joan's house, and I just think they are so freaking hilarious. It's like filled with cheetah print, and then the naked wall paintings really reminded me of that one. What's his name?
Nick Newport.
Yes, Nick Newport. The one in the wheelchair. Oh my God, they had to have been done by the same people because they look like the same style. And I wonder if it's the same person that did all of the, because remember I said that the person who did the Leslie Goddess picture that she makes a double of also did the pictures for City Hall. So I wonder if City Hall guy and Leslie Goddess picture guy are the same as the naked pictures.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Oh my God.
And yeah, I also love the one of her like on the Chase Lounge.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like with her robe falling off her shoulder. Like that's actually a very fierce photo.
Yeah, I love it. I love it too.
So,
yeah. I also think that really is her that they're throwing on the bed. Like I don't think that was a stunt double. So they really must have rehearsed for that.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Also, why is Tom get in the bed to fill the sheets? It's like, how risky that is, dude.
Oh my God. There's a deleted scene here which doesn't really like add anything, but I just thought it was really funny. So I'm just gonna play it really fast.
Tom, come on. Whoa! The whole entire set of Eye of the Nile skin cream? This one isn't even available in American stores. Tom. Man, you have to come here and feel how soft my hands are. Tom! Should we put her in her pajamas? No. But that's what they do in the movies. What? Look at all these pieces. Good Lord. I got that same guy doing some portraits of me next week. What do you think about this for a pose? It's option 1. Option 2.
Go back to the first one. That one's better.
Look 1.
The first one.
Well,
Yeah, that one.
what about the eyes? Looking straight ahead or kind of away?
Look at me again. I like you looking. I'm looking at you has a lot of value just because. Wait a second. We gotta go.
That's so funny.
So Tom is getting portraits done by the same person, guy, girl, whoever, that Joan has these up. And so they're going over poses. And I just think that was really funny.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love it.
God. Okay. So, all right. We have covered all of the bloopers of Chris. Now Leslie's going to Marlene, if you are there.
Yes. And I want to know why Marlene didn't warn Leslie.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
I wrote that. I was like, I feel like Leslie's mom should have at least told her when Leslie was on the campaign moment. Like, I get not saying it when you're young because she didn't have to, but like, did her mom not see the book? Like, I would assume that her mom would see the book or that she was
knew
going
what
on
was
Joan's
happening.
show or like something. But yeah.
Yeah. Or even when the campaign started, right? Is like, hey, there's something I've told you that I haven't told you, but it could come out during the campaign.
Yeah.
Like she's a politician. Like she should know that that's something that could come up later.
Right. So just what we're talking about is that Leslie goes to Marlene and confirms that she was not born in Pawnee because Pawnee's hospital was overrun with raccoons. And I love the no, which by the way, we didn't even say this, but obviously if you watch the show, you know, but basically after Andy got the birth certificate, it says that she was born in Eagleton. So she is like, I'm an Eagletonian, which by the way, we'll talk about this when we get there, but just because you were born somewhere, which I know that they say, but as soon as she said I'm an Eagletonian, I was like, no, you're not. An Eagletonian means you live in Eagleton and all the things. You're not an Eagletonian. Anyways.
Yeah.
I was just mentioning when she goes, no, I do that frequently, like, especially with my family, like with my mom and my sister, because I just feel really comfortable with them. And it's like with this show so frequently, Maddie, I'm always like a chicken and egg situation. Like, did I do it because Leslie did it or did I already do that? And I just love that I can relate to Leslie in that way.
And I think it's different for me with The Office because The Office, I quote things and I know it's from The Office. Like even if they're just like little one-liners, like a Creed one that we use all the time is that's not why.
Yeah.
And no one can ever pick where we got that from, right? But for me with Parks and Rec, it sounds and the inflections of how things are said, like you're saying.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's different. Like I don't quote lines as much from Parks and Rec. It's more the way Leslie like emulates things.
Right. Yeah.
So
totally. Okay. Well, so now I'm at where Anne is coming back in for Ron and April, if you are.
Yes, and I absolutely love her outfit.
Me too.
We are in the season of me loving Anne's outfits.
Yes. She has a bloody hospital story in this wonderful outfit. And I'm happy that Anne got what she wished for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too. I would love to know if this story is real because it could be. It really could be.
It could be. Because she had all the answers. So maybe, well, I mean, it must be true in the canon of the show potentially, but a part of me was like, maybe she's making this up just so that she can get with them.
Right,
but
so she has a story.
Right. But I feel like since she was a nurse for so long, she probably did see something similar to this. So
Right. And it didn't necessarily like need to have happened the last night.
Right.
Like, is it
exactly.
something she's been through?
But
you
yeah,
know?
I would love to know if it's real, like
So.
outside of the show. I'm sure something happened like that. Come on. People are crazy.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the toe. Me too.
I know. Great storytelling. I love this classic editing in the next scene, though. Classic Dean Holland, I think, but I would assume, where they have the close up and then zoom out to see another person sitting there, like they do in The Office. And the whole Anne was getting a little chummy, so he calls people by their wrong name to just let them know they're not getting too close.
Yes.
I love
that. And April does it to him.
Yes, and then I love Ron's reaction. Ron has a little cute little smirk smile thing of like, oh,
yes,
April
and this is where I noticed. I'm sorry, I hit my mic.
You're good.
This is where I noticed Ron's mustache is still missing a little bit here in the center, which they're calling back from when he shaved. No, when he shaved for the Ron and the Tammys episode.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. Oh my God, the
'Cause
fire
he
was
was-
a million years ago. Yes, when he shaved.
Yes.
Yes. Ron
So I
and
thought that was a
Tammy's.
really nice like touch. It's not a lot of it, right? This is the first time I noticed it in the whole episode, but I looked it up. And I was like, why is he? And it's just like right here in the center.
Interesting. Great detail. Continuity. All right.
Love it.
I also love, again, all these lines, man. I don't know what to decide. I love this line of wonder who else was born in Eagleton. Voldemort, probably.
Yeah.
So good.
It is so good.
And then Tom comes in and breaks the news that we already knew because it's, too late. And then Chris has that really great moment where it's like what we were about to get to, where he says, where you're from is a piece of trivia, but, or where you're born is a piece of trivia, but where you're from is what really matters. And I was totally with Ron. I was like kind of reluctant to agree with Chris for some reason. I don't know why, but I was like, yeah, he's right. That's well said.
Yeah. Well, and I like relate with that, right? The place I was born, I lived there for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I've been back to visit
Right.
like my grandpa and stuff like that. But like, there's not a lot of part of me that's Portland, Oregon.
Right.
Like I grew up in all these other places that made me who I am. So I like related that so hard.
Yeah.
Like
And I could totally hear
That's very
how it
cool.
would be difficult to understand like who you are and what shaped you if you were born in like a bunch of, or not born, raised in a bunch of different places, like growing up, which I think is a struggle for a lot of people. But yeah, it totally makes sense. Like wherever you're born does not necessarily mean that that's like who you are. You know what I mean?
right.
So
yeah. But I also understand the flip side of people not understanding that coming from a place where you've never lived anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So
But I do think
get it.
knowing where you're born is like a huge part of your identity.
Oh, I would agree with that.
So I think that's really interesting to kind of dig
And I think
into
Leslie
that psychologically.
feels, yeah.
Because it's like
I
her
think
whole
that's
life
the
is a freaking
sadness.
lie, in a
Yeah.
sense. But now, obviously, she has to reframe, and she does a great job of
Right.
that with the help of her coworkers. So I think that's really, really, profound. And then we have Joan coming in hungover because of, quote, some bad seafood that I had.
Yes. The way she sits down in the chair
Oh my God.
with her knees touching.
Yes.
Oh,
Brilliant.
that's amazing. Well
and like
done.
kind of slunched. Did I just make up
Slouched
a word?
over. Yeah. I like it.
Slouched over, hunched over. I combined two of those words. This reminded me of when Ron takes on the calls, and isn't she drunk then too? What was
Yeah. Yeah, she is. And I can't remember why.
I know. I hit my
But
mic
she's
too.
sitting in like 15 different,
Yes.
you know,
She's like laying on the couch. Yeah.
feet up in the air.
Oh
yeah.
my God. Yeah, that was during the campaign, I feel. Like more so of the campaign. But anyhow, we'll get there when we get there. I love this where she says, again, it's not where you're born, it's where you're from. And then she explains a bunch of her memories like sledding down Nipple Hill. It gets slippery, especially when it's wet. Slippery nipple
That's
is
what
a
she
drink,
said.
by the way.
Is it really?
Yes. I'm going to Google it because I forgot to do it for my research. Yes, it's a shot. It's a layered cocktail shooter with equal parts butterscotch, schnapps, and Irish cream.
Oh, that actually sounds delicious.
I know, it's not bad, huh? So,
No,
anyhow.
I can't drink.
I know. Oh, my God. You can't drink anymore. I didn't even think about that. Shit.
Yeah. There's a lot of things you don't think about until you can't have them, like coffee.
Well, you can have one thing, I think. One cup, they say, is okay. But it depends on your
Yeah, they
body,
said-
obviously.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But it's been fun.
Well,
anyway,
I have
that
been
makes me
getting
sad.
and it's not the same. I will not make any sort of excuse to say that it's the same, but I have been trying like to drink less, meaning that I've been experimenting with a lot of like seltzers and like really interestingly flavored seltzers. Like I'll find them at Trader Joe's, or I love Celsius now. Wait, have you heard of those?
No.
I don't know. They do have caffeine in them, so I don't know how safe they would be for you, but they're basically like a pre-workout drink, kind of. Like they have energy drinks, or energy in it, caffeine meaning, is how they like market it. But you don't have to have it before a workout. I think that they just market it as like something that you could. But it's meant to be like a more antioxidant version of coffee, so that you don't crash and it's not nasty like for your body to just like go down the drain. Also tastes really good. So I don't know.
Gotta love that.
There's also a watermelon seltzer at Trader Joe's if that is of interest to you. I'm sure they have multiples at like Walmart and Kroger. So okay. So we're talking about the slippery nipple, and she remembers Jim from the cameraman operating and tells this embarrassing story of when he peed his pants in second grade. And I just think
too much information.
So funny. Kenny Stevenson is the one that plays this, and he also sent us a voice message.
Yay.
He is an improviser, actor, writer, and producer. He's been in a bunch of UCB shorts, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Comedy Bang Bang, which is also a podcast, by the way. But I think he was in the show. But you can correct me if I'm wrong, Kenny, and a bunch of other UCB things. But I just am really grateful that he sent, and he has some really cool things to say. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for us now. And this one I think is 10 minutes long. So, and by the way, you guys, I'm telling you how long they are, not to like be like, oh my God, they sent me a voice memo that was so long. But if you need to skip ahead or pause for a moment before you dig into this voice memo, go ahead, because they're all very juicy and you need to be paying attention. So, okay, here's Kenny's.
Thank you so much for asking me to do this. It's wild. These are my answers to your questions. Apologies, there might be some construction happening near me. So, question 1, how did I get my job on the show? Tell us about your audition, the process if it wasn't an audition, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I auditioned for Dorian Frankel, one of the few casting directors' names I remember in this town because my wife's name is Dorian. That's not my wife, but that's who the casting director was. And at the time, I was on a house sketch team, a mod team at the UCB theater in LA called Oh Brother. And a writer on my sketch team was a writer's assistant at Parks and Rec. And his name is David Phillips. He then went on to write for Brooklyn Nine-Nine and whatever he's working on now is fine. My agent got me the audition. He had been talking about wanting to get us all on the show forever, but he's a writer's assistant. It's kind of hard to do that. Got my audition. He said I told him I was auditioning. He said he would do whatever he could to try to like push me in the room. But when they were looking at tapes, he wasn't there. So I actually there was no help. He might have greased the wheel a little saying my friend was auditioning, but I got the part, and that's how it happens. Did you know anyone before you got to set? So I had done a show at the UCB with Amy Poehler before. It was a show that Matt Besser used to do called Besser's Back Room, and he used to have a guest who played themselves, and he used to have a bunch of people do characters around them. And so I did the show with her. I met her. We didn't talk very much, and I was doing a Russell Brand impression, which ended up being not one of my better impressions. So I doubt she remembered me going into it. Do you remember if there were any improvised moments? Sorry. Sip of tea. Keep it all in. Do you remember if there were any improvised moments between you and Amy? No, not really. Because the way the scene was shot, where it was, we're in the studio, and so we do it's double the behind the scenes and the show, because there's an actual show being taped, the Pawnee Today. They shot all that with just Mo and Amy, and then I was off camera to deliver my lines to her. So there, we kind of stayed. I mean, she maybe might have put some buttons or so at the end, a couple of times, but we stayed pretty close to it. Were the lines you had scripted? No, those were basically the lines. They didn't really change. I think they maybe might have like Peter Pan. No, I feel like it was all the one thing they did add that didn't happen in the So we shot all the stuff. Sorry, I took a sip mid-sentence. That probably sounds terrible for your listeners. So we shot all the stuff with Amy and Mo, like focused on them first and me off camera delivering my lines so they could do the whole scene that way. And then they brought everybody else in and then turned the cameras, like pointed the cameras at everybody. So like Aziz and Rob Lowe and Adam Scott and Chris Pratt. So when we started doing the scene with all of us, that like cutaway they do to Chris Pratt when it's so wild to say that I was in a scene with all these people. Chris Pratt. I always forget that I did this. I watched Guardians like 3 times already. Guardians Volume 3. When he heard the line about how I peed my pants, Pratt did this whole thing where the point where he points and started laughing, that was improvised. And so they added the kind of camera whipping over to him to get that reaction. So that was something that changed on the day. Let's see. Any memories from being on set? Literally anything. I mean, I've got a lot of memories being on set. It was like, I loved the show and always thought it was a great show and had watched it with like, not just like, I think it's like, I just, I was doing a lot of comedy at the UCB and these people, Aziz came through the UCB, Amy came through the UCB. These were all people that like in part of my mind, I'm like, well, it's only 5 years away till I'm doing this, which was false. But the thing that stuck out to me the most is how well cast the show was. Like everybody on the show was very kind of like similar to who they are. I mean, they're not the same person, but like Amy is very nice, very funny. Aziz is very much Aziz Ansari, very much his character. He is like bouncing off the walls, little high energy. The second they call cut, he's got his phone out and is like texting people and tweeting. And then the second they're like roll action, his phone's away and he's right in it. And Chris Pratt was just this, I mean, this is before Guardians Volume 1. So he was still kind of doughy, as they say. And he was just this big teddy bear running around singing, like in between takes, he was singing Shania Twain, Man, It Feels Like a Woman. And he's just like singing it and like talking to the crew about their softball games and like, oh, can I play softball with you guys? Like he was this like, oh, cool. He was very much like everyone was very much. And Adam Scott is just unbelievably nice. Like came over, introduced himself. Rob Lowe is like what you think Rob Lowe would be. He was this, I've been acting for 25 years. There's a look on his face. So we're doing, the thing that was, this is one of the biggest memories from the set as well. So, we're shooting what's supposed to be it's like we're shooting a television show, Parks and Rec, and then on Parks and Rec, we're shooting a television show called Pawnee Today, and my character is the producer of Pawnee Today, so I'm dressed like a crew person. I have like a headset and everything, and so, you do, before you bring camera in, you do first team rehearsal, so I'm considered part of the first team, so they're like first team only on set, and the director. So the first, Amy and Mo are up on the stage, Aziz, Chris, myself, Adam Scott, Rob Lowe are all sitting, behind the camera, and the scene goes, and then it gets to the part where I'm, Amy points at me, and at this point, Amy, Mo, and I had done the scene for like a couple of hours, and so when everybody else was brought in, so we were very comfortable, and so then Amy did her line to me, and then I delivered my line back, and the look on Rob Lowe's face was like, what? Why is this crew person talking? Like, who let this grip just start talking lines? Like, what's going on? And I could see Adam had to kind of cue him in, and then he was fine. Let's see. I think that's good. I don't have any stories from Crafty. I don't remember Crafty. I don't. I'm sure it was great. Maybe. It's at CBS Radford, so CBS Radford is like designed for shooting television shows, and so there's like every soundstage has like an office attached to it, so you don't get like a trailer if you're doing a day on it. You get like an actual like room. You get an actual like an office almost. It's kind of nice. Do you remember where the location of the news station was? This news station was on a soundstage. Yes. It's one of, so Parks had a big, at CBS Radford, they had a big stage. I think it was like stage 18 or something. And so the whole city, the city council government building was all one big set that I think was attached, and that had a ceiling. Most sets don't have ceilings because they can drop lights in, but for Parks, they wanted it to look like an office, so they put an actual ceiling in. But then attached to that, there was the Pawnee Today set. So I did that. And then I come back. I'll come back and answer more questions with the 3 other episodes that I was on, because I've got more stories. I haven't even talked about my time with Nick Offerman. So hit me up if you want me to tell you about this episodes with Nick. Here we go. Sorry. Anything to promote right now or shows you want to talk about? I'll promote my podcast. I host a podcast with myself and another comedian, Alex Enriquez. If you've watched the show Jury Duty, and in episode 5, there's a gentleman who testifies about, pardon my French, masturbating during the movie Pacific Rim. That's my buddy, Pacific Rim 2. That's my buddy Alex. He and I do a podcast every week about fandom nerd stuff. We call it the cape space. So superheroes wear capes. Darth Vader wears a cape. People who fight goblins and dragons, they often wear capes. That's what we're talking about. It's really funny talking about, all the nerdy stuff that exists in the world now. And that's what I'll promote. Thank you for this. I had a great time. Great time talking to myself. I love talking about myself. But if you need me to do this again for any of my other episodes that I'm on, I will happily do it. Thank you.
Yay! That was awesome. There was a lot of great stuff in there.
Absolutely.
I actually didn't listen to that one all the way through. I just edited the beginning part of it. So that I was taking notes as he was talking. First of all, for those of you who don't know, Matt Besser is one of the creators of the UCB. So when he said that he was in a show with Matt Besser, that is who that is. And Amy Poehler, I mean, you're working with the greats there. That's amazing.
Yeah, serious.
And then, what he was talking about, side note, I just wanted to, I'm sure people caught it, but I asked particularly, and what I usually ask is if the lines from the audition are the same as what is on the day. And because sometimes it changes or sometimes they add stuff and, that's why he was talking about swinging to Chris Pratt, when he improvised or whatever. Because I'm always so curious, like how it changes from audition to set. And then, that whole people are the character thing, that really resonates with me because I feel like, with actors, you have to kind of convince yourself, well, not convince yourself, but train yourself to know that it's the truth, that if a role is meant for you, it's meant for you. What's meant for you will not pass you. And that is so real, and that was one of the things that I think I learned in this past theater show. Like, so much of my character was stuff that I pulled on from my own experiences. Obviously, like, she was a little bit more brash and, like, I don't know, sensual because it just was the character. So, but it's like I had a lot of stuff that I pulled on that I do, and that audition, by the way, and I'm just saying this to actors too, but it goes for everybody. But like that audition that I did, everything in that audition goes so hand in hand with what that character is. And it has to be so, the margin for like, not error, but for like, not, I don't know how to phrase it, but if it's not like right in that margin, your audition matching that character, it's just not always going to work out. Like, like that audition just might not have shown exactly what that character needs. And so that's kind of something that I'm learning too, where, I mean, not learning, I knew this, but to see it in action, to be like, everything in that audition was exactly what I did in the show, is like, oh, okay, I guess I get it. But also, like, it sucks because, it's like the amount of times that happens, it's a numbers game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm really glad he said that. And then when Chris Pratt was dancing around singing "Feel Like a Woman," that's a fun callback because that's the one that the janitor sings or is playing when they come in to take out the trash when Lil Sebastian dies. And then the second team and first team, I think people know, but second team is usually the stand-ins, and that's where the crew is getting the lights and all that stuff. And first team is like the people that are actually saying the lines and the actors that are going to be on camera. When you talked about Rob Lowe, though, that made such sense to me because you guys have heard me talk about Rob Lowe and how on the podcast when they were doing it, when Rob Lowe and Alan Yang were doing the podcast, he totally is like, I've been doing this for 25 years. I know what the hell I'm doing. I'm very like, you know, he doesn't know what it is to be a civilian anymore. Like and he kind of shows that, whether it comes off cocky or not, I don't know. I think he's a nice guy. I do think that, but he definitely has that of like
that air.
So anyway, I'm glad he said that. Not that that's what Kenny was saying. That's what I'm saying. But thank you, Kenny, for solidifying that for me.
Yeah.
But no, I'm sure he was great. So Kenny, thank you so much. We will definitely be hitting you up. And I just spoke a bunch. So Maddie, if you had anything to say, you can.
I just loved hearing some positivity about Adam Scott, just because it's not that nobody's ever been positive about him. It's just that I think a lot of people have been like, well, he was kind of in the zone. And so I didn't really interact with him. So it was really cool to hear like, hey, he came over and introduced himself to me and he was really nice. So, and then side note, if you haven't seen Guardians Volume 3, I cried like the whole time.
I haven't watched it yet.
So yeah, it gets you, man.
Okay.
I don't know if it's my hormones too, but it rips you up a little bit. So
is it the last one, you think? It is the last one, right? Like they're not making it more.
They make you feel that way, and then there's like one of those end scenes where it's like the Star-Lord will return or whatever. So I don't know what that means. Is he going to return in a different movie? Are they all getting back together? I don't know. Because he that's a spoiler.
Okay. Well, I'll watch it and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So
awesome. Okay. Well, thank you, Kenny, for letting us know all that information. I really love it.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to ask you more questions about Nick Offerman and the rest of your scene. So,
for real.
Moving on, there was a deleted scene here. Like there was an alt of showing how much Pawnee is inside of Leslie, literally. Leslie is holding her hand up to Joan, and Joan is like dry heaving because I just needed to paint the visual. I know it sounds weird, but okay, just listen.
I've got limestone in my hand from when I wiped out on my bike right near Pawnee Gulch. I literally have a piece of Pawnee inside me. And it floats around right under the skin. Touch it, move it around. It's like a tiny little caper. I get it.
And Joan is like throwing up because Leslie's hand is in her face. Oh my God, so funny.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
All right, well, so now we've got this last little montage of when she's reading the ending of her book, kind of as a voiceover, over all of them having waffles in the office and dipping and cheersing waffles, and syrup is everywhere, and it was so cute.
Yeah.
Side note, I want to say I really commend the camera crew / the writing and all of it, because when she was talking on Joan's show, I had the realization that Ben and Leslie haven't talked at all this entire episode.
Yeah.
Until, not even... I just realized that when Ben is
just
smiling,
interact.
first of all, and then secondly, the waffle thing, they have this little cutesy look, eye contact moment, and you're like, oh, fuck. You almost forget they had a romantic moment, like,
for sure, yeah.
Because she's so consumed by this birth certificate business, and he's so consumed
and I think
by
he
Joan
is too.
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just love that you saw the camera catch them glancing at each other. It's so good. We really needed that stolen moment to keep that alive, too.
Yep.
And to really remind the audience, like, this big thing
this is
happened
happening
and they can't be together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got really emotional too. Again, see, it's not just pregnant women. But I get so emotional when she says, like, I'm not crazy. I know it's not Paris. Like, it just makes me so, like, sentimental to think about when you met, because that's something to me that I really respect, and I didn't used to respect this. I can say that boldly and like vulnerably, because I did not used to respect people that stay in their hometowns. I was like, why are you doing this? Like, there's so much more to do, and I really judged them hardcore.
Yeah.
But there's something noble, I think, about going. Well, noble's not the right word. There's just something about people that visit other towns and then choose to go back, because that's what makes them happy, and that's where they feel like they thrive. And then they can still visit and go on. I think the thing I was judging most was that, like, the closed-mindedness of not traveling other places. But there are people that travel and choose to come back to their hometown because that's what makes them feel good, and that's something that's really important. And I just feel like it was really cool for Leslie to show that she's not unhinged. She knows this place and she chooses this place, and that's what makes it better, and that's what makes her the right candidate. And I thought that was like so special and moving.
It is very special. Yeah, absolutely. Agreed.
This tag is so sad. Jerry coming in.
I know. He's in the same clothes, Holly. Same clothes.
He says he missed his daughter's birthday because he's been running around trying to get all these interviews and trying to figure out the inaccuracy that Joan was talking about, and no one filled him in that it's been solved.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And she doesn't correct him. She just lets him leave again, which makes me so sad for him.
It does. Okay, I'm going to end this by reading the afterword if you are ready. If you had any other things, though, we can talk about it. But
I'm ready.
Okay. It also has this like newspaper kind of vibe. I feel like you can kind of see the color is not like completely white. I don't know.
Yeah.
It smells good. Okay. Afterward. Look, I'm not crazy. I know Pawnee isn't Paris or London or Chicago or even Indianapolis. I know there are prettier towns and more vibrant cities and more scenic drives and better destinations. I know that to an outsider it must seem like a waste of time for someone to spend her life defending a place that is in some ways indefensible. And it probably seems downright loony for that same person to spend 6 months slaving away to conscript all of her friends and coworkers and to write an entire book about that place and all of its historical oddities. I get that it maybe seems that way to you, and I don't care. I was born here, I've lived here most of my life, and I love it. I love it to death. It's a great place to live and work, and serving the goofballs in this town is an honor and a privilege, one I wouldn't trade for any other job. Except for one where I get to serve them from Washington, D.C., I will take that job happily if you're offering... Which, foreshadowing, hello?
Yes.
Because in the words of one of the all-time greatest Pawneeans, Mr. Ron Swanson, when I asked him if I should accept an attractive offer to work in Eagleton, you'll get a lot of job offers in your life, but you only have one hometown. Yes, every place in America has a story to tell, and many of them, I'm sure, are fascinating. And yes, the world's great cities hold endless joys and adventures within their borders. And yes, every town claims its diners' waffles are the best in the world. But somewhere, in some town, there really are the best waffles in the world. Somewhere, there's a stack of waffles so delicious and rich and golden brown and wonderful that anyone who tasted them would decide never to leave that town. Somewhere, those waffles exist. Why can't it be here? Leslie Knope, October 2011.
I love it. I love that line. Why can't it be here?
Why can't
I love
it be
that line.
here? It's so special. Oh my God, I loved it. Okay, and I know I said that was the last thing, but I had one other, like, there was like a census report that I really wanted to share with you. Okay. So it was incorporated in 1817. Okay, the population, 66,218 plus or minus 5,000. 5,000, and then it has like a footnote.
That's a lot.
I know. It has a footnote, and it says, there were some problems with our local census form collector. He turned out not to be super reliable and traded some of the census forms to this weird Russian guy for cold medicine. What? So it's like, give or take 5,000
Creed was the weird
people.
Russian guy.
That's still a lot of people, though. 66,000.
Yeah.
Minus 5,000 is still 60,000 people-ish. So, I don't know.
That's a decent amount.
Yeah.
It's more than like a small town, you know?
Right. Well, that was Born and Raised, everyone. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Crazy life
Wonderful
transitions
to
for
be back.
literally everyone on the show and on the actual show of Parks and Rec. So,
yes.
Yeah. This is wild. It's so wild how it's all like everybody's having life transitions, including Leslie. Like, this is a big deal.
Yeah, this is a big deal.
What a universal moment. Yeah. Well, I don't know when the next one will be, but we hope that you had/have a great 4th of July if you celebrate. Thank you to Kenny Stevenson and to Elizabeth Sandy for sending in those voice messages. We will definitely hit you up if we have any other questions. Please go to the show notes and make sure that you're following Kenny's podcast. We'll tag them as well. And I don't think Elizabeth has an Instagram, but we'll tag her IMDb and everything and keep an eye out for her. So thank you to everyone for your patience, and we just appreciate you, and we're excited to be back.
Yes, and we will see you next time.
Okay, we'll see you next time. Happy July.
Yeah.
Bye.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.